Let's see if this works or not. Okay. Looks like everything's connected. Let me see. I think we good. Let me actually open up this chat 1 second. This is what happens when you don't stream for a long time because you forget everything how you're supposed to do stuff. So if I don't have chat open on the side, like actually on stream, then it is what it is. But so let me just make sure audio is sounding fine right now. Time because you forget Okay, yeah, it's good. Okay, but yeah. Let me get this. Okay, we're good to go. Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you get a clear view shot of your boys, so that's something to at least appreciate. Even though I'm a good like 4 out of 10, but regardless. But let me know how we sound real quick, and then we'll get started. Because I think everything should be good, unless there's a mistake that I'm unaware of. Then I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I see some of the chat moving a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna be up afterwards for a VOD, but just let me know how we sound real quickly, and then we'll just go into the spiel. All right, minute time. See some of them moving around. Let's make sure it's up on YouTube, because every time I click on the Let's Go and live stream, like for whatever reason, it doesn't want to do it. But yeah, we're out here. All right, open this up. Okay, good, perfect. What is going on, everyone? Commodore Laz here today to discuss the finale, the conclusion of the greatness that is the Haikyu Haruichi Furudate's masterpiece. Now, originally I wanted to try and do like, some kind of discussion video talking about the end of the series, but I figured, what would be actually way better than doing, just a discussion video and stuff, is talking with you guys about the end of Haikyuu. And I want to save a little portion, at least for this stream, talking with you guys before I invite some people over afterwards, discuss the greatness. Because I feel like it's a lot personal with me and you in this, because when I started this channel about 3+ years ago, I got into this series and, well, I got into covering this series basically. I've been with the anime since 2014. I got into the manga right as season 3 had concluded, and I've been with it since 230, as soon as we were getting on the bus and stuff towards nationals and everything. And then, started covering, I believe, from 254 to 257, took a little bit of a break afterwards, went from 269 to where we are right now. And it's like, in terms of the weekly experience, and I talk about this a lot when it comes to the weekly journeys, I think to me this is probably my favorite weekly experience I've ever had. Like, One Piece has given me so much greatness. Gintama, the end game when I got from the end of Shogun essay, just keep it spoiler free and stuff, towards the end of it was beautiful. The stuff I've been seeing with Kingdom and Jujutsu Kaisen has been phenomenal. But I think this right here, man, from nationals until the end of the story, has been some of the greatest stuff I've ever experienced. And to go from a channel that when I started this series to cover it and everything, I didn't really get a lot of interactions. I had a lot of people throwing dislike bots, people telling me I should be covering Ippo, I should be covering Slam Dunk, I should be doing Diamond Ace, and I didn't hear most of that, the nonsense we're saying. Granted, I love Ippo and Slam Dunk, but with Haikyuu, it was just like, I wanted to make sure that when I left some kind of impact on this channel after everything was done, I wanted to make sure that, the Haikyuu manga doesn't get the love it truly deserved. When we're talking 3-4 years ago, like, you talk about the anime, everyone loves it, they enjoy it, but they treat it almost as if the manga doesn't exist. And to me, and I see Jay just jumping into the chat because hold on, let me let this guy know. But actually, no, I'll bring Jay in. Might as well. We'll do this. Actually, no, he's good. Bet. Yeah, I forgot I was still in the thing, so we good to go. But yeah, before I lost my train of thought, when I got into this series with the, covering the manga and stuff, I realized that the community was very bare. Like, there was nobody covering it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, this is such a beautiful anime, but it also has a story that's written by probably one of the greatest, minds this medium has to offer. And I'm thinking, why aren't people like talking about the manga? So I wanted to make sure at the very least that when I was covering this series, I made sure to get as much out there as possible by preaching the gospel. Like, we're talking Jehovah Witnesses. I literally was that for 3+ years. So to see this community go from literally having, like, in terms of like YouTube community, right? No one really talking about it, to seeing now, people are coming into the videos, interacting with the discussion videos, talking about these things that they enjoy of Haikyu, and to see all that grow from where it was 3 years ago to where it is now, it's been a absolute beautiful journey. And I appreciate each and every single one of you who were a part of this with me. From all the discussion videos to the just seeing a grown man just absolutely get destroyed week in week out by Furudate. My ankles are gonna have to need some surgery from some other dimension, because what we have right now in terms of like current medicine, all that kind of stuff, that ain't gonna heal me. I'll tell you that right now. My heart probably won't be the same again after the weekly journey, but I don't know if I can ever trade that for anything else in the world. One Piece is maybe the only thing I can see that could top it because of my love for that series. But right now, man, Haikyu is Ichiban. I think it's already solidified itself as, to me, as a top 5 manga. It's probably like second, third. Like, it's really tough to say because, again, some series are still ongoing for me, so things could change. But as a completed work, it's probably top 2. Like, I think anything that Furudate does after a certain point, I'm going to be there for it. And I'm most definitely going to be supporting my guy whenever he comes back to Jump or some other magazine, something like that. So we'll see. But let me just see how the chat's saying real quick, because I saw Jay. Yeah, I'm gonna start bringing in people for a little bit after I get the chat in. Or, I could... Nah, you know what? Screw it. Since you're already here, Jay, and I know you're working, I'll bring you in. You good, bro? If I can hear him.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Oh, okay, bad. I just want to make sure. I didn't want to make sure my Discord is all messing up already, because I can't even get the live chat up on here. So...
Oh, no, you're good, bro.
But let me see. But how are you, man? How did you feel about the conclusion for Haikyu? Because I know now you got caught up to it. You made the great business move like you did. So Let me know how you feel on it, man. Like,
in terms of the ending, it was, when you watch the ending of Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and you kind of just felt satisfied.
Yeah.
And it's like all the loose ends were tied up in a way where it's like, yeah, sure, you could want more.
Yeah.
But I think it's beautiful that I would want more, but you still have given me enough to just kind of use my imagination to see like how things would end up. And I just found that beautiful that we started off with Hinata and Kageyama.
Yeah.
And then we end off with Hinata and Kageyama again at the highest stage. You see them, and I think it's the fact that they always said that they wanted to beat each other. And then you have the sad twist of, okay, they joined the same team. Now they got to play against each other. And you think, oh, okay, well, I guess the story is they're not going to want to beat each other anymore. They're going to become best friends and that, everything's going to be great. And it's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden you see them go in that different direction again. And it's just like, all right, well, we're both professionals and sometimes we're going to be on different teams, but we want to compete with each other. And you see them both become the complete player. And then they play with each other on the national team. And then I think my favorite part about it is the fact that Hinata went back to Brazil and then became a pro player. And then they play each other. And I'm just like, man.
Yeah. Like,
because, oh my God, it was like Hinata's a legend in Brazil now. He's got his own nickname.
Yeah, they're gonna have to change that statue, bro. The statue of Christ that they have there. They're gonna have to put him up, bro. I'm just saying, man. Like, here. But no, I feel you on that, bro. Because it's like, I kind of low-key expected him to stay in Japan after everything, so now he can kind of cement himself as like the top dog there. But it made sense, for the whole thing where he found his itch when he was over in Brazil, and for him to go back there, even Kageyama going to Italy, I kind of like. I expected him low-key to maybe go there or somewhere in South America, maybe closer where Oikawa was, so they continue their rivalry. But I don't know. I thought when I saw that, I'm like, okay, top team in Italy versus top team in Brazil, and the FIVB, which I really like how they integrated that in there as well, because it is its own still, like, almost like the Champions League, if I had to, like, to anything else. Like, V-League, you would kind of say is like the Premier League because it's exclusive to Japan, whereas this is like any club from any part of the world can compete against each other. I think also too it's with countries as well. I could be wrong with it because the lack of like coverage in terms of like being able to watch it compared to like baseball, basketball, football, all that kind of stuff. Exclusive for it to be exclusive. It's not like that really with volleyball. Like certain channels on cable, I think you can watch it, but it's sometimes at rare times. But yeah, man, that whole thing was just beautiful. Just seeing how everything kind of was brought together at the end. I love how you start that chapter off with like the Carlson fight with Daichi, and then you just see that double spread where it shows everybody in there. That was so beautiful, man.
That was like, so good, bro.
Like you get to see like everyone's interactions. The one I really loved seeing was with Tenma and Korai Hoshimi when they were playing together and stuff. I was just like, bro, it's the passing of the torch of the little giants, man. So that was just a GOAT moment, and then just seeing again like everyone's reactions, the banners that are like lying around like the whole double spread, like which I feel like is one of the coolest concepts that they introduced. Because every banner has like their own theme for every single team that they follow. Like we don't need memories. You go through the whole thing with Inarizaki and their stuff. The stuff that you get afterwards, you know, with Karasuno, Fly, and everything. Like there's just so much meaning behind it, and that's something I definitely want to talk about more in detail on another time. But I think that like just seeing that stuff was great, especially because previous chapters was starting to be put in there and everything. Is there any character that you feel that like when you saw this final chapter, like you were still happy about it, but you felt like you could have wished you could have got to see something more out of them, like in it?
You know, I think that's the crazy thing about this ending is again, it's just like I don't know how Furudate did it, but he gave me everything. Yeah. It's just like anything that I wanted, any questions I had, it seemed like he just answered it to the most minuscule detail where you see Sendo and Ushijima's relationship. That wasn't just a one-time thing. That just happened for the rest of the series. And it's like you see, it's like I think one of my favorite things about Ushijima and Sendo is when Ushijima was shocked at the kid that said volleyball was boring. And then Sendo was like, well, yeah, that's because you suck, bro. You need to be a star. Like, nobody's going to watch volleyball unless you make them watch volleyball. Exactly. And then the fact that Furudate cared about that interaction so much that you see later on, you see the same little boy watching Ushijima on the TV with his jersey. I was like, yo, I'm about to cry, dog. Like, I was ready to cry. I was like, oh, that's just too much for me, bro. Exactly. That's too much for me, man. I was like, that was my favorite part. Like, I just love seeing that, man. And it's like I'm that little boy because I never took volleyball seriously until I read Haikyu. Yeah. And then I started watching the highlights, and everyone sees the same highlights with Yuji Nishida and all that stuff. Yes. But I started watching college volleyball. I started seeing the quick sets, and I was like, yo, volleyball is serious, dog. Like, I was like, yo, wait a minute. So it's just like, for me, Furudate needed to show me what volleyball was all about. And after I saw it, and then after you see it in real life and you see that it's almost a seamless transition, it's getting to the point where it's like, besides soccer, if I get into volleyball heavy enough, bro, I might become a volleyball stan in general. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Like, this has so much like coverage too. Like, you know, again, like how all these other sports have like, you know, they're put out everywhere, so it's available and stuff. Where volleyball, I don't see that same thing until it's like Olympics time and stuff, and that's wild because unless you're part of that region where they're getting it all the time, or you're watching these matches and stuff, then it's one thing. But trying to watch it outside, it's so tough. But like this, I think deserves honestly like to be like broadcasted and promoted in the same way you get like with baseball, basketball, and all this other stuff. Like it is a phenomenal sport, man. Like the fact it doesn't get the justice it deserves unless it's like Olympics time is disgusting, you know. And even the FIVB like World Leagues and stuff, which are so great, but that's something you have to really dig into your bag on the internet to find to be able to watch these things. Otherwise, it's non-existent, you know. But man, I mean, there's like some little other things. I think the only one thing I would say with that chapter, and I think this because again, I when I made like the whole like creating the national team and stuff, right? I really thought Kiryu was going to be in the national team. So when I saw that Aran Ojiro, which again, Aran is awesome. Aran
that's
is
amazing. My boy, dog.
Aran's amazing. But I was a little heartbroken, right? Because when I thought about it, right, I'm like, okay, the top 3 aces got to be in there for that national team. It just makes sense to me, right? So I was kind of sad that we didn't get to see too much on Kiryu. I think that maybe like. Because I saw earlier, Romano brought up this in the comments regarding like the light novels, because they're supposed to be covering certain parts of the story in between like year 1 to before, you know, Hinata goes to Brazil and stuff. So I'm thinking maybe it gives us a little context more about what's going on. Like we know Kiryu's still playing in Division 1 and everything, but I thought he would still be at least good enough where he makes that roster. But the fact they got Aran there, I have no problems with, because the man was, again, being touted to be up there like almost like a Bokuto. Like they could get into that top 3 when they're on their game and stuff. So I had no issues with it, but it was just a little sad on my part because I called him the Dragon of Oima as a homage to the Dragon of Dojima in Yakuza, because he has a Kiryu name and everything. So I was like so excited for him, and the stuff with him and Bokuto was just amazing. So I was a little bit sad on that, but it wasn't enough to where it's like, this is the worst finale. No, it was still the God tier finale and everything as it was. But yeah, but there was just so many little things. Like we talk about the kid and stuff with Ushijima. I love that the Buy Me a Beer Bros got featured in here.
Yeah, I love those guys, bro.
And I'm just like, bro, this is how you know mangaka doesn't forget the little details when you got those guys, man. Gino and Gabrielle, man. Absolutely amazing.
I think you can really tell the quality of a series by the little things that they make seem so important, even though they're still little.
Absolutely.
Do you know? And that's why the little boy with Ushijima meant so much to me, because it's not something major. It was only a couple of chapters, but it's just like it meant something to you when you saw it happen because he fulfilled it. It's like he didn't leave any loose ends.
Exactly.
There's no loose ends. And like Kiryu, even I understand, like Kiryu is cool, like he's dope, bro, but Bokuto just beat him. Mm-hmm. Like Bokuto just beat him hands down, bro, to the point where it's just like you can't. I think his story was over after that, bro. And I mean, you know, I'm a Bokuto stan, so
absolutely.
All Bokuto information, I'm here for it, bro. Like, and the fact that it's like Bokuto, you know, Ushijima's the guy, right? You know, he's the guy, but somehow Furudate made it seem as though even though Ushijima and Tsukasa are raw, the real star is Bokuto, and it's because of the personality. He has the star personality that stands out more. So it's just like you can have Kawhi Leonard, you know, on the team, and he's like really good, very stoic. We know he's like the main man. But if you put someone like, say, who's someone who's like very flamboyant? I'm trying to think, like, what would be a good apt comparison, right?
Like someone like for personality wise, like
like if you put someone like Kyrie.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kyrie would make sense.
If you put Kyrie with Kawhi Leonard, everyone would know Kawhi Leonard is better.
Yeah. But
it's just like, oh, actually, no, the better one, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. That's exactly what it is, right? Okay. KD, everyone knows KD is the best player.
Yeah.
But when you look at the team, who is the one who stands out the most? It's Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Because Steph Curry got the swagger. He's got the leadership qualities. Everyone wants to be like Steph Curry. Yeah. I want to be like Bokuto. To me, that's my dad at that point. Bokuto's my dad. Yeah. So, you know, it's just like, I love how the individual characters all have their own unique personality and none of them are the same. Mm-hmm. There's no tropes here. They're all just unique characters and they all had their stories. And then Furudate tied up their stories. Like the Tsukasa and Ushijima stuff was amazing. That was just amazing. Like, and then, oh my God, my favorite moment is when he said, Dad, thank you for protecting my dream or something like that.
Yeah, thank you for protecting my gift. Yeah.
Oh my God, I think I cried.
That I'm not gonna lie. Man, because
I think I cried.
I low-key was anticipating that for such a long time. SK, what's good, bro?
What's up, SK?
But but that moment though for me it was just crazy because I remember like whenever like we were getting like the bits of the flashbacks and stuff, especially when it was going towards like Kageyama first, which I think hands down is the best one of the flashbacks. Like I want to go in more detail afterwards, but the Ushijima thing, what I really loved about it, because again I wanted to see more from the dad's perspective, and in my eyes the way I thought initially was that his dad was going to be there at the arena, like Tendo was going to be the one driving the dad to the arena or something. That's how I initially thought what we're going to get. But the way it was done, where it's like you see Tendo when he was like 19, walking the park. I thought he was gonna be arrested or something because the way that he was still the maniac on the streets. But the way that interaction went, and then he was going to the States to see his dad, I'm like it was just a really awesome thing. You see Iwaizumi afterwards, and how he was going to move into a trainer role, which that was really cool to see at the end of the story. He becomes a trainer for Japan and stuff, working with Coach Fuki. But just that whole thing, because it's like, you know, he did protect that gift of his. Like in season 3 with the Shiratorizawa matchup, you know that was something of importance that we were gonna probably touch upon more if we got to see the dad and everything. And you know with Ushijima, it's like he's very stoic, he's very reserved in his personality. He doesn't really like lash out unless it's like game time and stuff. So as a person, you don't really know what's going on in his mindset, what's up with him. But when I get to see something where, you know, he actually shows appreciation to someone. Because if he didn't have his dad around with him, and when what his mom was trying to do was take away the left hand and make him be like everybody else, it would have took away that ability for him to be his own person. And for him to have that appreciation for his dad, saying like, you know, I don't forget. Just because I'm doing all these things, I don't forget. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today. That stuff right there, man, Ushijima, top tier, like my guy. Like I always say from the top 3 aces, Sakaza was my favorite, and I stand for that dude till the end of time, but Ushijima's star has risen so much for me, where it's not just as a player, but as a person, where I truly appreciate him. But, yeah.
Nah, I agree 100%. It's like you never really see the dad, and it seems like, you know, you get this impression that, you know, the dad's not really around, like, is he really a good father or not? And then you just see, it's like Ushijima's stoic, so you never know what he's really thinking. But I think the fact that one phrase kind of highlighted how important his dad was to him. Absolutely. And how good of a father he really was to him at a childhood, where if you can instill that type of love and appreciation in a child with just one action and basically sacrifice, because I believe his interaction with his wife is kind of what led to him having to move away and being everything like that. But to be in a broken home and then to still have that relationship with your father to make you become a star and just be true to yourself. It's just like for Ushijima's dad, I feel like we all learn to respect him. Like, all right, you were a good dad. Like, you did your job. If your son ended up like this because of just one selfless act, you are a great, great father. So like that was the only chapter we needed just to put respect on Ushijima's dad's name.
Exactly.
On dad's name.
Yeah, I didn't need arc or not. Like that one chapter itself did it for me, you know. And and even then with the whole thing, like with the mom and stuff, like I get it and understand. It's, you know, the whole practice of like people like they want to make sure the kid isn't left out so that they aren't like picked on and everything. But I didn't feel that from Ushijima. Even when you look at him as a kid, it's just like he had that potential to be something really special. And you know, just to see the dad doing that for him, and we kind of knew after, like, during that little part during season 3 where his dad was, you know, played in like second division, had went overseas and stuff. So I kind of figured at the very least, because he has that job with volleyball still, and even if he's not currently playing, but at least as a coach, as we saw at the end of the story, so he had his own thing. It wasn't like a bad dad per se. And I love how Ushijima never badmouthed him, not once, never showed like any intent where he felt like regret. If anything, he probably felt that for his mom, but never would go outward and say that, because that's just not who he is. He's not going to put blame on somebody for where things are in his life right now, because he's in a better state because of, you know, what his dad was able to do for him. So, you know, you can never put the blame on the parents. Some kids would do that, but with him, it wasn't the case. But SK, since you're here, I want to hear your thoughts real quick on that final chapter, man. Like, what did you think of it? Was there anything that stood out for you of, like, because I mean, there's so much for us, but I always want to hear from you real quick about that.
I don't know. That's probably one of my favorite endings I've probably read out of manga so far. It pretty much wrapped up everything that I needed. Like, I mean, obviously there could have been more with the Olympics match and like this stuff, but I kind of like that they left it at an open sea. And plus, if the anime comes, I'm sure they'll add something more.
Possibly.
If people really want that. I mean, there's potential for it, but even if they don't, it's fine. We got to see the main thing that we needed to see. We got to see Oikawa doing his serve. We got to see the quick set. That fist bump was beautiful. Hinata going back to Brazil. It, like, literally every single character as well pretty much got their conclusion and like where they are now as well.
Yeah.
And the whole it was so good.
Yeah, like, I mean, that fist bump
for me.
Yeah, the fist bump, like, again, if you know a certain moment from Slam Dunk, like, I love that moment to bits, but I think this one just hits even harder because I've been waiting for that moment since chapter 1. And, like, just to finally see, like, even though they still consider each other as rivals and everything, the fact that they acknowledge one another as, like, yeah, like, you're on that same tier with me, like, in terms of, like, you being here and all that. Like, the acknowledgement, really, from Kageyama and stuff, just amazing, you know. And then, of course, them still going at it. That's just how the rivalry was. It was literally, the series was built upon that rivalry, and the fact that it still continues on even afterwards just shows that those two really are the Ronaldo Messi of Haikyu, man. Like, you know, and the fact that they're on the same team. Think about that for a second. They're on the same team. Like, for all those years, they go against each other to see, like, you know, who's the better of the two. It's just beautiful, man. Like, but I mean, there's like so many things. I mean, we're talking about like the Tendo and Ushijima stuff, you know, with the chocolatier thing. I'm like, yo, my man opened up his own factory. He's Willy Wonka. Think about that for a second. I was like, that's crazy.
And then the best friend thing again, bringing that back up, bro.
I love Tendo, bro. I just love Tendo so much, dog.
That shit would be like crazy.
He's so funny.
Because when I saw they were doing like the whole TV thing, and I'm thinking like, because in Japan they do this with like the interviews, a certain style that was done and everything. But I'm like, they're out here in Paris doing this. And he links up with his boy. And bro, here's the thing, right? I think I'm the only one that probably noticed this initially, and this is because probably like watched too much cartoons as a kid. But if you ever watch a series called Undergrads, if you ever know what that is, so Undergrads like is like a college series and stuff, right? And there's one character that's there, where if you look at Tendo's face, if you know who Gimpy is, that if you type that in a search and you look at the panel of when they're saying best friends, he literally has the exact same like eye structure thing like him, and I'm just like dying, like, bro, he'd be looking like him. But regardless, just that whole moment I thought was just awesome, because the fact that he said, like, you know, one day if you ever have a documentary and stuff, you want to talk about if you want me to talk about you and stuff, you know, as we're good friends, we played together and everything, I got you. But the fact that Ushijima like willingly became part of that document, the whole thing for him and stuff, and then say, oh, what's your connection? Oh, we're best friends. Like, just to have that moment, it was super dope, man, because like those are my two boys, you know what I mean? Like, You know, they're out here after the whole Shiratorizawa match. You know, my man wanted to read Chump, and he was reading the ads. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a friendship right there.
It's true friendship.
Yeah, even the stuff. Let's talk about the stuff with Nekoma, because I was very interested to see that a certain character who I expected to play on the Russian national team actually decided to be a model instead, with Lev and everything. You know, deciding to go down the path with Alisa, which. Listen, man. Yaku has all my blessings, man. You go pull that business move after the series. But what did you think though of the whole thing of with Lev, especially because I felt like with me, I think he was going to be part of the Russian national team because I didn't think he would make the Japan team because of how stacked the middle blocker position was, especially when we see who was in it after. But were you satisfied that this is the route that his character kind of wins and that he kind of left it? Because some guys like Nishinoya and them, like we knew, like, you know, if they wanted to do their own thing in life, it doesn't have to be specifically volleyball. But in terms of that, like, were you satisfied with that's the route that his character went? Like, he just said, you know what, I'm gonna go be a model, I'm gonna be on Victoria's Secret, like, you know, like do his own thing.
I was cool with it just because Lev never really seemed. We never really got any deep reflection with Lev. He was kind of just there. It was kind of like it was kind of like to show the contrast between Hinata being really small and still a novice, while there's someone who's also really tall and a novice as well on Nekoma. So it's kind of like they had their own little rivalry, and I think he was only there for the sake of one, Hinata, and having that, you know, direct contrast, and then obviously just for the chemistry of the team in general, and just them having their own little idiot that they have to deal with, just like Hinata.
Yeah.
And then obviously your sister is a beauty times 74. So it's just like, for me, I'm like, all right, well, we got other reasons to like Lev now. And then him ending up being a model kind of just makes sense because he never really was like you never really got an arc where you saw him improve himself in with his volleyball skills. So him actually being on the Russian national team would be a little bit weird for me.
I mean, the only thing I can say in terms of like his own big moments, and maybe it's not on the stratosphere as some of the other ones, but the one that he had against Daisho Suguru's team, Nohibe, right? Where it was,
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that was like the only time. But in contrast, I can definitely see it to where, you know, again, even in the final matchup between him and Nekoma and Karasuno, you didn't even get that vibe too much either as well. So maybe if there was something a little bit more deeper into that, then maybe he would have gotten in there for considerations and stuff. But honestly, I'm perfectly fine with it because, again, Nishinoya, I think when it showed that he wasn't playing any more volleyball, he was kind of doing his own thing, and the way that it was explained, I think just said it for me, man. Look, I don't think everyone has to be destined to play volleyball beyond high school and stuff. If you have your own career paths and everything you want to do, so something completely like, you know, Daichi's girl Yui Michimiya, I didn't know she was playing that volleyball game where it was like, you know, instead of using like your hands, using your feet. I think it's called Sepakatapu. I think I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but but that's that one. But when I saw something like that, I'm like, yo, it doesn't have to be like everyone's got to play volleyball after. Like, there's always going to be different paths and stuff for other people. And just seeing that for Lev, too, that was great. But again, Alisa, I low-key had expected her and Yaku for some reason, like, at the end of the series. But who knows? Maybe afterwards they do, whatever. But I mean, let me look at the chapter itself to see if there's anything else I can remember, too. Oh, the stuff that we got with Kanoka. I really love that. We have Tanaka and
cheering her on,
celebrating her, cheering her on and stuff like that. Was really awesome because with her character and low key, I kind of expected her to be like. I really thought the relationship was going to be her and Tanaka, but I do understand like the whole childhood thing. You don't want to make it so obvious that like, oh, because you know each other, it's doesn't happen and stuff. But they as good friends and stuff. That he was there for her when she needed someone, you know, to get into his games and stuff and give her the confidence to be able to play and stuff. And the fact that he's still doing that even after having a wife and everything, just amazing. But let me see. I see the chat also what they're saying as well. If there's anything for you guys too. Oh, we want to say, Jay?
I think the nice thing about Haikyu is that, again, it's like it's real, it's realistic. Not every fairy not everything's a fairy tale. Not everything falls in place for you. Sometimes things change, and I think he did that. The first time he did that was when we saw Little Giant quit volleyball. Yeah, where this is someone that everyone looked up to, Hoshiyumi Hinata. This is like some kind of legend. And then when Hinata sees him, he realizes, you know, this is just another guy. Like he had to face the same challenges I did, and he overcame it in high school. But then he didn't have the resolve to follow through with it. And sometimes that happens to people, and it's not bad. But sometimes people just don't want it as much as you. And then I think Hinata realized, I still want this because I love volleyball volleyball is my life to me.
Yeah.
So then as you see that go down, it's like, okay, then with Tanaka and his childhood friend, sometimes love is unrequited. And it's just like, that is a moment where you see, okay, I loved him because he made me like this, but Tanaka didn't think the same way about her. Tanaka was just being a good friend.
Yeah.
So you can't just force that relationship to happen if it's not natural.
Absolutely.
But Tanaka loved, what's her name?
Kyoko.
Kyoko.
Right? Yeah.
And at the end of that match, when they lost to Hoshiumi's team, you saw the respect that she had for Tanaka, especially in Narizaki match. Where I'm like, this guy's a little different. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm feeling something. And then she said, "You can hold my bag," and I was like, okay. Yeah, so it's like that. You saw that was organic. So I'm just like, okay, I see what he's trying to do here, and I love how. I think my favorite part about Haikyu is that you don't always have to win for the match to be good.
Exactly.
And it's just like, it showed the volatility of sports because everyone is good at nationals. There's not one team that'll always dominate nationals over and over and over and over again, because sometimes things happen, injuries happen. And I love that when we learned about Tsukasa's team and how their captain got injured and that's why they lost, I'm like, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. That stuff like that happens.
And we all thought they were the favorites. I mean, I thought they were going to win the whole thing if Carson had to face them or something. There was no way Carson was beating them. But then to see how it all folded out. So even with Bokuto, they got to the end, which I expected low key for him to be one of the teams possibly to make at least Final Four, but to make the finals and then lose to a team that we never heard of. Which that's the thing I want to kind of get into is the whole year 2, year 3, because I've seen some people say that we should have gotten it, but. I felt like after Furudate revealed exactly what transpired in those years 2 and 3, I'm kind of grateful that we didn't get it, because if we had to spend 2 to 3 years of getting year 2 and 3, and that's what the result was, where we got to we missed out, I think, on one of the spring tournaments, and then we got to 3rd. I think it was the closest we ever went afterwards when losing to Tachiyama. I would have been so livid with myself, because it's like, why would you show us those years and then we didn't get there? But also at the same time, it's a realistic nature that. You're not just going to go all the way and just win it. It's like some teams just going out and we'll win in our first year and then we're done. Just to show you how realistic it is, where it's like every team is going to be dangerous. You're going to be competing against. No matter how much you grow and train, there's going to be somehow a team that's better than you, whether it's on straight talent or luck that's been provided after. So to see them at least get that far just shows that their growth was going in the right direction. And even with Hinata, he, again, was still raw potential. All he had was the jump. And then over time, he started to grow in different things. His receives getting better. It's getting better with spikes and stuff.
Walking,
and now it's like you're seeing after in Brazil, where he knew that for him to be able to compete on the same level as Kageyama, which again was the whole thing on the rivalry, but also to be on that stage like everybody else, he had to do something that was outside of what everyone else was doing, because he had to really show, what I got to do is enough that Coach Fuking would look at me and say, okay, you might be part of this team one day to represent the country. So him going to Brazil, doing all those things, it's so different, because it's like you're doing I don't want to compare him to Jamal Crawford, because that's just super disrespectful. It's really disrespectful, because we know that Hinata, his route far different. But just to see all of that, going to Brazil, going into playing beach volleyball, elevating his game to where the fact that now that he's on par, and I think he's probably surpassed it now, but the fact that at the time he was on par with Nicholas Romero, who was considered one of the top world aces, blew my mind. It's that's how far he's gotten. And even then, and this is a detail I noticed at the end of the chapter where it shows the numbers of the kits and stuff of how the Hinata was 21 and Kageyama was 20. Usually when it's signified with that, it means that they're still in the back end of the roster, showing you how stacked everything is. So even if they got to the best of their ability, they are still not the top people, compared to all the other guys that are out there in the world. So it just shows that Japan, as amazing as it is, they're ranked number 4 in the world. The world is so much bigger out there, and there are people there that are just on a different level. And it's maybe luck or it might be talent, but it just shows to show that with these guys, not that everything's promised at the end. It's you still have so much work to do for yourselves. Even in your prime years, you may not even be your best. So just those little details are there for it.
I think also in regards to the 2nd and 3rd years, I feel like it would get a bit repetitive after a certain point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it'd be the same tournaments over and over. And I think he still could have found a way to make it interesting and fresh, but I think the direction that he took it with the time skip and the Brazil training is so much more interesting.
Oh, that was
and I think
so
the
good.
payoff was overall so much more better with the final couple chapters and everything that he did with it.
Yeah.
So he crafted it much better in my opinion than what could have happened. Plus Aren't we getting light novels on like some of the stuff that happens in between there as well?
So I was gonna talk about it because Romania brought this up in the chat earlier. So in regards to light novels, we're supposed to be in. I don't know if it's like volume 12 or 13. The most recent one's gonna be coming out, but it's supposed to be covering from I think certain portions after year 1 to see like what the other teams are doing, and then after it's right before Hinata goes to Brazil. Now I don't know if they've been translated yet, any of them, like rough translations, because I don't think there's an official translation for the light novels. But I would love to see that just so we get kind of more content and stuff from the story, even if it's not drawn out or, you know, maybe one day gets animated, who knows? Because I think it would be awesome for like little OVAs and stuff. But I would love to see it just to kind of get some more context of what was going on for everyone's like mind states between years 1 and then, you know, before the big time skip and stuff. So, but yeah. I mean, there's just so much still. I mean, like, there's one character I do want to talk about that I feel that, you know, we respect him, we enjoy him, but we don't put him on the same pedestal as another certain teacher, and that's Takeda, right? Because because this is the thing, right? I love Washijo. I think he's had some of the absolute greatest development I've seen in this
He's
story.
fantastic.
He's my favorite.
And you know what I'm saying?
So good.
But I feel at the same time is that when we look at Washijo, I see people kind of forget Takeda. And that man, without him, I don't think we would have the players that we have right now, Hinata and Kageyama in the story. Like, the way that, you know, he was there for them in the first Abajosai loss and helped get their mental fortitude back in together, where it's like, you know, there's still more games to play. If you give up now, then you're never going to get any farther than you are right now. You know, the whole thing about those who start at the bottom of the climb the ladder, that whole quote was so GOAT. And just now seeing, like, you know, even like him protecting like Hinata from like, you know, getting a further injury or something, which I kind of thought like at the time, like I know some people were not happy with the way like, you know, Hinata was taken out, and I thought it was going to go down a certain route from Slam Dunk. If you know the storyline with the coach and one of his players where something had happened, I had thought Takeda was going to do that for that very reason. So I was thinking that was the case, but in the realistic sense, if you put a kid out there, he's sick and he gets hurt afterwards, that's going to be put on the teacher. And I know some players are going to be ignorant and say, nah, let me play and play. But then when you get hurt, who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the teacher for not doing it.
You're going to blame the teacher, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that Takeda talked the sense into him, because now when he was grateful for him, saying this is still volleyball, that chapter where he goes in, makes a receive and gets his stanza after, like, just getting to that, and remembering the words that Takeda had said to him. Like, that band is just underappreciated in my honest opinion. Like, Washijo, he's GOAT teacher, best of all I've seen, but Takeda I feel like is just right up there alongside with them. And just like, even myself at times, I would say like, yo, Yukai did a phenomenal job with his team, but
he really did, yeah.
He did. And but Takeda, bro, like, he funded his own money to go get that damn bus so they can go and travel to do all these training camps and everything, you know. And he had no knowledge about volleyball and did everything he could to make sure that these kids were able to get to the places they need to, had somebody there so that their club could exist and stuff. Like that guy was that's the man right there.
He set up like all the practice matches as well. Exactly. He like nagged Ukai to get on the team to coach it. Like he set up like the foundations for it. Yeah. And I think they saw the potential of the team and they stuck with him. Yeah. It was great.
I think the thing with those two is that they were a perfect duo just because Takeda took care of the mental state of the kids. He took care of everything. He made sure that everything around them was organized enough so then Ukai could focus on the X's and O, focus on the technique, and train them as volleyball players while Takeda trained them as men. So like it's so important to have that balance, and this is why assistants as well as the head coaches are so important, because there's going to be gaps in your abilities to coach a team, which is why you need other staff who have different attributes to make the collective a really strong team. And Takeda, you know, the talks right before the games, I think his speech with Hinata, I mean, I cried. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was hurt. I was devastated. But it's like the words that Takeda was saying, I felt like they were hurting me even more, because it's just like you felt how upset he was for Hinata, but he was like, you got to be a man now. He was like, it was like a dad talking to his son after like a girl broke his heart or something like that. It's like, you got to be a man. Like you got to remember this and never go back.
Still volleyball.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I was just like, man, Takeda is really hitting right now, bro.
You know, and in the whole quote too, where it's like, you know, you were defeated yesterday, but what are you going to become tomorrow? Like that quote, especially for the Mia twins, man, which again, that Inarizaki team, like outside Karasuno, they're absolutely like my favorite. And even if it's just the twins, Suna, Aran, and especially my favorite character in that whole team, Shinsuke Kita.
Oh my god,
I
Kita's
fucking
great,
love
bro.
Kita.
Kita
That
is
my
great,
guy.
bro.
Like,
Love Kita, man.
I don't know where to start with that guy, but like he literally is myself. When I first saw him that chapter when we were talking about his backstory and everything, I'm like, yo, that's literally me. I don't have the absolute ability to be the best in a sport, but the leadership and the dedication to a team to make it as great as it should be. When he got that like the jersey and told you were giving the captain, not because of your ability as a player, but as a leader,
I was crying, bro.
me.
I'm not gonna lie, I cried.
I did. I was like, bro, this is insane. And then the fact that he went into the whole rice farm stuff and how he was the one supplying Mia onigiri and stuff, which was so good. Because I remember when I saw the double spread where it was like showing the farmland, and I the thing was when I read that chapter initially, I didn't open the double spread on Viz, so I was reading like page by page. So I'm seeing this random field and what the hell, and I go and turn it, and when I see the back and I saw his face, I was like, yeah, oh my god. Oh man, like
supporting them.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And I loved even in the final chapter too, where you know how he's talking with them and stuff, and then the old lady was saying like, "Oh, like those guys are awesome and stuff, right?" And then he's like, "Don't I have such awesome teammates?" Talking about how they were gonna tell Kita, "There's gonna be a day where you're gonna say that how awesome are my teammates, even after our old age and everything." And the fact that they said that while Sue was playing on the Olympics,
and Ojiro too.
Yeah, and Ojiro, when they were showing off Ojiro after too, which. Again, I really wish Haikyu had been there, but still, just to see that, just for the whole full circle of the storyline and stuff, amazing, man. Just
it's like everything came full circle. Like
absolutely.
even Iwaizumi with like Oikawa and like training, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like, how does he do this? Like, I don't understand.
I think the best part of the ending was how he I didn't realize we never got Oikawa's backstory until we did it. And I'm just like, And then it's like the man that made him love volleyball. Not only did he become his coach, but someone mentioned in the chat, he has the same jersey number as him.
Yeah, well,
I didn't even realize
I didn't take that until after, yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, yo, Furudate, what are you doing? Like, how can you finesse me like this, bro? I'm like, stop. Yeah. Oh, I just felt, I don't know, man. I felt violated, bro. Like, Furudate really just overwhelmed me. Like,
he gave me everything,
just
bro.
like, man, like the way that was.
It's like it's like he's the first true antagonist and then the last true antagonist at the end. And it's like, oh my god, the Great King versus the King again. It's like Kageyama was like, I gotta deal with this nigga again.
Exactly. he said screw playing around with y'all and stuff. I want to beat you. And like even like him, I respect that too, because it's like, he knew. And I think this kind of tells me that Kageyama was the better between the two of them. And I know some people disagree. They think that because Oikawa was playing on the world stage a lot longer. I don't think that was the case, because if he thought he was better than Kageyama and Atsumu and stuff, I think he would have stayed and tried to compete for that spot. But I think he knew that there was no chance. Kageyama and Atsumu were on different levels, and he had to go to play in another country, which I love how they kind of handle it too, because, and JU would probably know this a little bit more, but you know how, like, let's say Diego Costa, you know how he went from, let's say, playing from Brazil to play for Spain because of the whole naturalized citizenship stuff. I was curious of how they were going to do that, because the way in football is that you have to have some kind of like connection to the country, whether it be your parents, your grandparents, something like that, for you to be integrated into like the national team for another country. So the way that they did that, where he actually had to be a naturalized citizen, staying there for some time to gain the citizenship so that he can actually play on there, I thought it was handled very well, because I was like, it could be a little bit messy situation the way it could have been handled if it went other ways, but I thought it was great the way it was done. And the whole thing with the flashback too with Blanco, and which led to the moments there, like the fact that he got Blanco to be the coach, not just take his number, you're the coach of the team, like that in itself was absolutely amazing. He said, man, I'm gonna be on that same stage that I have been envisioning, and that thing hasn't changed. And not only was he there with Blanco's as coach, has his number and stuff, and now he's competing against everyone. And the vagueness of like who won that game and stuff, and possibly who won Olympics, I love that so up in the air, because anybody can say he could have won. Kageyama and Hinata could have won. But man, like that I don't know, man. That whole final chapter itself was just bonkers. Like
everything in it.
Like the amount of double spreads that were just showcasing everything. I think. To me, though, my favorite double spread that I saw in the whole thing was, where it shows that to connect, and it shows everything.
And all the...
from the
that made me
with
tear
Daichi
up.
and them. Yeah, that absolutely destroyed me. I think once I got to the part where Takeda was, like, the whole smile after the Obajou side loss, I was like, yo, I'm done for.
Especially, I just rewatched season 1 with a friend, and like all those moments just like refresh in my mind too, and it's just like, oh man.
It was, and then even like the little things too, where they're showing off, Kidaichi and Kunumi, and then afterwards, Hinata's friends from his school, and then you see like Heitor in there, which I was so happy to see Heitor was in that double spread too, where it's like all the people that really played a role in their lives and stuff to where they are today. Just a story, just beautiful, just beautiful.
So good.
You basically grew up with these guys. Like you grew
Exactly.
up with these guys. You
Really
see their
good.
life. You see how their tree extends, the relationships they formed, where everybody is at now. It's kind of like you just were watching real life. If that makes any sense.
And it's all connected, as it said. Like all of it is.
Yeah, it's realistic too. Like the relationships that they had and like the paths that they went down. It wasn't some like, oh, this is destiny or whatever. Like they had to take detours to get to the positions that they need to. You know, like different routes that some people wouldn't stomach. I don't think anyone like Kageyama would have been like, yeah, let me go and play some other country to kind of get into this team. Like, no, I'm going to work my tail off to get into these places and stuff. I think same thing for some other characters. But Hinata is like, yo, look, man, if I got to do this to be able to be acknowledged on the same stature as all these other characters, like, I got to go outside my boundaries and do this. Like, I think that whole Brazil arc, and to me, anybody that doesn't like that arc, I think was just stat padding for Haikyu, in my honest opinion, because that arc was beautiful for his character. Like, with Hinata, I loved him since the beginning. Ball Boy is really where it pushed him to number 1, but then Brazil, it's like that cemented him. Like, there's no way anything else can happen that can take him away from top 1, because you're seeing everything from this kid, where it's like, he goes into a foreign territory that he has no idea of the language, the culture, like anything about it, and he's trying to do what he can to be able to improve his game so that he has a chance of making the national team, to where there's days that he'll lose his wallet that his sister had gotten to him, where he's late for work, where he's depressed because he has nobody there to connect with. That chapter where it shows him looking at his phone and seeing like his friends in their final year and he's sitting in the corner, that killed me inside. And the fact that he in one panel switched it up, it's like, nah, I can't be depressed, gotta go on my bike ride, gotta keep going. That's just like the motivation you need, where it's like he could have sat there in that room and be depressed the entire time, but said, look, I came here with a mission. I am not aborting the mission until it is complete. Him doing all that, and then by chance seeing Oikawa and stuff, which helped him get the resolve he needed to improve his game. The connection with Heitor afterwards, which again, that's my guy. Like, he pulled the biggest W game, Nisei and everything, but you
see the little baby he had too? He put in work. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, bro.
Put in work.
In 3 years, he was going in. But even
that's a year, bro.
And I love the thing too. Every year, I know. And then after that, where it's like, I love the thing too. Him and Nisei, where how they had the thing with Ushijima, they were like, it's him, but no, he's on our team because of the whole battle and stuff that they have with the Adlers and the Jackals. I just love that moment so much, where it's like, I don't worry about that. He's slack. He was one of us, like. But
we're chilling.
That's my guy, man. I just love the whole thing. Remember, my guy was out here trying to get sponsors and stuff, and then he ended up not only getting a beautiful wife, 3 kids, a dog and stuff, but he's out here supporting his boy Hinata. Like, even him and Pedro, bro. Like,
I was about to say Pedro. When Pedro was crying when Hinata was leaving, dog, I was like, oh, he really Pedro, man.
My man,
it meant so much to him, dog.
That's wild,
bro. And he reads One Piece, dog.
And he reads One Piece. I'm like,
got a foam gold poster in his room,
Exactly. Dragon Ball, he was watching. I was disappointed.
He brought Pikachu,
I was disappointed he brought up My Hero and Naruto, but that's besides the point, because he's a Luffy stan, so that's all we could take from that. But just that whole thing, man, like every character that's in the Brazil arc, even again the Buy Me a Beer Bros, which got coverage too, which was amazing. Even all the like Oikawa stuff after that, man, that arc is just so beautiful. Like, I can't wait to see that animated, like just to see some people's reactions to where it's gonna switch
like
over.
Everything from here on in the anime is gonna be
pure
top tier.
It is.
Like
pure.
everything.
The Inarizaki match, like, I might cry maybe 8 times. I think I'm gonna cry 8 times during that arc, bro. Like the Tanaka stuff, I'm not ready for that Tanaka cut shot, bro. I'm not ready for the cut shot. I'm not ready for the cut shot, bro. I'm not ready for it. I just know I'm not.
The Shinsuke stuff, and then the Hinata receive 281, bro.
In the end of the Inarizaki game, oh man,
bro,
the blocks it off. Oh fuck, that was so good.
I think seeing Ojiro basically morph into Ushijima, just a black Ushijima, I'm ready to see that too, bro. Like, I'm just ready. I'm ready, bro.
Him, bro. Even like Suna, the little moments of him and Tsukishima where he's like, get on my level
Oh,
already.
yo, the moment between Yamaguchi and Suki in Inarizaki, or was that Nekoma?
Nekoma, the Nekoma.
That was
Nekoma.
Nekoma.
Yeah. That's a moment I can't wait to see.
The shield and the spear.
I need to see that so bad, bro. I gotta see it.
I think, but 322 when it animates Hinata versus Kenma. That is going to be Kino. I don't use that word ever, but Kino is the only way. Like peak cinema is gonna be so good.
Peak cinema.
And then the Kenma and Kuro backstory too.
That's what I'm saying, bro. The backstory of him and Kuro, which is absolutely beautiful. My boy's a Metal Gear Solid stand. Like, there's no way he can't. Anyone that dislikes Kenma, beyond me, man. Like you didn't know.
You can't dislike him.
Nothing. Like you know what I'm saying. But that's oh my god. Even the stuff too, where if like Nekomatsu and Yukai, their whole flashback before the Nekoma match starts, like I can't wait to see that because the handshake that you see with young Yukai and Nekomatsu because old man
through the generations,
so
that's gonna destroy me.
That's gonna make me cry,
bro. I'm just like, come on, like Haikyu, why do you keep doing this to me, bro? Like, stop it.
I remember once was at the end of the Nekoma matchup, and I remember when Kuro was having the talk with Kenma, and then after they were talking with the coach and stuff, right? I was saying to myself, if Kuro cries, bro, I'm gonna break down like completely because he's the one character I love since the very beginning, and I never thought would have that thing where he would actually like tear up. But the way they show the relationship between him, Kenma, and Nekomatsu and stuff, from when they were kids and stuff. That was about to kill me because it's one of those like, and this is like a Sir Alex Ferguson thing where it's like they've known him for such a long time as their sensei in a way, and like getting him up to be where they are today and stuff as players. So to have that moment where this is the last time we're ever going to be a part of this team, at least for Kuro, Yaku, and stuff like for that they can't play for this guy no more because their time is up. Like that was gonna kill me, man. When he was like saying, this was a fun time, and I'm so grateful to have you guys as my team, and I'm just like, oh my god. And then when you see Kenma looking at him, and it just cuts away, I'm just like, oh, if he cries, it's over, bro. It would be game, but yeah, there's just so much, man. Even like the I was like the Commodore match too, but the Munjinazaka and Fukurodani, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be just like two monsters.
My guy Bokuto.
Oh
Jesus
my god,
Lord, bro.
The Bokuto stuff I can't wait for because
bro, listen. Go ahead.
You talk. No, you're the Bokuto.
Listen. If you listen, SK saw how I was behaving during this Bokuto, during that Bokuto arc, bro. When I told you I was out of line, bro, like you just don't understand. When I see Bokuto start hooping in the anime, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just not sure because it's like. What I saw Bokuto do for the Jackals, where I still don't know what he did. I don't know how he did what he did, bro. It doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. But it's like that Bokuto match in general, where he became my hero. It's like with the OST, the freeze frames, the animation of a really strong spike and a really good serve, all matched with the hey, bro. Come on, I'm not ready, bro.
Yeah, no.
I'm telling you, I'm not ready for that.
Dog,
this man Jay was literally like
the protagonist of the world.
Dog,
I can't wait for that. We are the star. Originally was We Are the Stars of the World, but even then, man, him and Akashi, bro.
Akashi also top tier.
Akashi is great. Oh, the Akashi stuff was excellent, bro. Like I really like Akashi, man.
Now he's working with Little Giant right now, right? The manga.
Tenma. I mean, my guy wants to be in the literature department. I mean, he wants to write Monogatari, and you know what? I respect him every bit. He wants to write literature, man. Like, just again, like the whole past and stuff for everybody. Like, just everyone's like doing their own thing outside of it. And just seeing him, like, I figured he was going to keep playing at the very least, but to see him move into a field of one of his interests, because it's one of those things where if you look at the character bios and see what their likes are, chances are most of the things that they like, they end up getting into it afterwards.
Their careers?
Yeah, because I think I talked about Akashi liking like literature and that kind of stuff, but I never thought, then he's going to be a part of like an author or something like that. So it was just really dope to see those little things being brought out. But yeah, I mean, Munjinazaka, like the Bokuto stuff, I can't wait, especially because you know how it shows the whole thing where he literally had nobody at the time, where that thing where he turned around and had nobody behind him, and he's just like, well, screw it, I'm gonna keep on working out and stuff, right? And
Bokuto,
because he didn't have anyone behind him to help him, but now just the fact that he actually had a team at the end for Fukurodani, like are you like world? Are you seeing this? This is our ace, like bro.
What was I gonna say? Fuck.
I think the reason why I resonate with Bokuto so much is because he reminds me of myself, and I'll say in this way where as a kid I've always been the energetic, loud, goofy, class clown type of character, right? And
Yeah.
Bokuto is the same. But also I enjoy very simple pleasures. And with Bokuto, for him, life is simple, but it's also hard. And he mentioned that. He said it's always fun where something you want to do is hard because it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like everything is a moment to be in the spotlight. Bokuto loves the spotlight, but he's also really volatile. And I'm volatile as well. I'm sensitive too. So it's just like one day he's vibing, the next day he's depressed. And I'm just like, yo, I feel this. Like I feel this, man, because like you know you can do something, man, but you're just not in the mood and it's just not working. But as you grow up, you learn to grow out of it, and then it's just your personality that shines so bright, where it's like you annoy the life out of people, but at the same time, you annoy them because you like them. And that's normally how I am. It's like I like annoying people that I'm really cool with. So it's just like Bokuto to me is like, I don't think I've related with a character any more than Bokuto in any manga series, anything.
Yeah.
So just to see that personality in a manga, it meant everything to me. And then the fact that he's athletic and tall, something I wish I was, because I'm not tall. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm not athletic, but I'm not Bokuto athletic. Yeah. So it's like I'm living vicariously through Bokuto right now. That's how it was for me.
Yeah, even I think I relate that to with Shinsuke, to be honest, because even though I can play and everything, I know I'm not the top guy whatsoever, but I try to be the best leader I can, because I know sometimes being the leader is not the easiest thing, but if you want to get something done, you got to act up. You got to be able to showcase, the talks, whatever it may be, to get the motivation going. Like, that's what I have to do. But if I'm not the top guy in terms of ability, I'm going to be something in a different way that's going to showcase my talents in some other respect. But man, and that's the thing again with Haikyu World, how realistic some of these characters are. Like you said, Bokuto, Shinsuke and stuff. Like everyone has their thing where you can relate to them in some aspect, and it could be the tiniest of details to like possible, So there's things with Furudate I truly do respect, and it's gonna be crazy to see how he's gonna be able to match that or surpass that with his next work. Like that's something I feel like is gonna be such a tough task to do. But I think, if he's able to pull this off of Haikyuu, I think he can do it with any genre. Truly believe it. Give him the time, effort, everything. I think he can do it.
I mean, especially with his character writing, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, they should only make Furudate write sports series. Maybe him in the Norway. Like, after that, bro, like, don't give it to anybody else. Because if he does say, there's so many soccer mangas out there, but I just...
Yeah, I mean, there is one in particular, but I'm hoping more translations come out for, and that's Awashi. I think that's like the next true big one, but it's so far behind translations right now. Like it's in the 200s, and that thing's only like 40, 50 chapters out. But it's really beautiful to read right now. But like again, like there hasn't really been anything sports wise that's like. I mean, Ippo I'm reading weekly, and right now the current stuff is actually insane. But aside from that, there hasn't been anything. Like I hear Nosora, I've been trying to get back into that, but like I don't know. I've heard like they've had like 2 matches and like 30 something episodes, and I'm just like, yeah, that's
too much. You can't be doing all that.
Yeah, like I mean, as long as you're in practice matches, stuff like that, fine. But actual 2 matches in that time that they've spent with the series, like nah, I'm super good on that. Like you gotta have some kind of more development than that to get my interest. But I mean, yeah, the sports genre right now, like it's in a weird state because it's like. Even with Jump, like they don't have a sports series anymore in it for the first time since like the 70s, So I'm curious to know what direction they're about to get into afterwards, because right now they're looking like they're going down the Exorcist routes for a certain series, and now they're not really seeing that with sports. So I'm hoping that they can latch onto something that will kind of fill the void for Haikyuu, even if it doesn't get up there in the same status and appreciation and stuff, but at least something that can kind of fill that void for the time being. So. But let me see what chat's saying. I'll take some questions now. If chat want to ask anything for one of us, or we'll just ask us, and then we'll kind of like answer from there. But let me just see. Cause I see a whole bunch of people in here. I saw Madao earlier. I saw Billy Bob. Saw my man Marsh in here as well. Let me see. Joel is in here. Let me see. Have you ever watched Ping Pong the animation? I have watched Ping Pong. It's been some years. Great anime. I watched it actually around the same time when season 1 of Haikyuu came out, because it was in the spring of 2014. Very good series. I want to own the anime for it. I just never had the time to like say like I'll just click on it, buy it and stuff. But it's a great anime. I definitely recommend people check it out. Stuff like favorite match. The thing is, I actually have videos in the works for Haikyuu, because even though I'm gonna be covering the anime and stuff in October, and again, the manga coverage is kind of done. I still want to be able to cover like discussions and stuff for like my top 10 like characters, matches, themes, that kind of different stuff. So, but right now it's tentative. It can change over time, but I think right now still for me it's this Adlers and Jackals match for my favorites. And if we're talking the matches in school, it's still Inarizaki. Like that match was just way too like. That is what put Karasuno away from the whole doubt of them being Shiratorizawa to them being like the like they're here. Like they beat the runners up. We are here. We're not some placeholder team, just to fill the void. Now we here, man. But how about you, though, Jay and SK? What was your favorite match you would say right now in the series?
For me, like Adlers versus Jackals is still like my top one. But like you said, if we're talking just school,
yeah,
it's probably either Kamometa or Nekoma. I think.
I
don't know. Kamometa, if you include like the Hinata emotional, like that just hit me on an emotional level. Then the rest of the match was still insane, like the little giant, and then like him becoming, personalizing the greatest decoy. We got to see the little giant. Like there is just so much stuff in that match for me. I don't know.
No, that's a great choice though. Like, I mean, you can't go wrong with any match, honestly.
Like,
I mean, there's probably only one I would think, and that's probably like Josenji to an extent. But I mean, aside from that, everyone else is good though. But JW.
Obviously Adlers versus Jackal, it kind of just was everything. So I don't even want to pick that match because I just don't think it's fair. But if I were to pick one, it's tough. But the one that stood out to me the most and the one that made me feel the most was the Nekoma match, just because of there was so much in it, right? Because in Arizaki, that's a new team that they're facing. It's a new challenge. With Commodore, it's like Hinata and Hoshiyumi, and then Asahi shines again. Like the Asahi moments was, oh my goodness. Like I had been slandering Asahi for so long, but the moment these in Arizaki, Nekoma, Commodore, is like Asahi got better and better with each match. But Nekoma is like, there was so much involved in that match. The build-up, seeing Coach Ukai sit down and react to everything, his mimicking his grandson on the bench, the hatred that the team had for each other when they both realized, oh wait, this is a rivalry. I really hate these niggas, and they're like, I really hate these guys. And this is like, I was exhausted watching the match because Nekoma just would not let the ball drop, and I'm just like, I don't know how Karasuno can beat these niggas because they just keep stopping everything. And it's like, that was the first time Hinata did the dun jump, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, we knew Hinata was capable of jumping higher from the ball boy arc, but when that was finally cashed in, Hinata became a star in that match. That's when Hinata first became a true star. Like, yo, it's Hinata. It's this guy. This guy is business. And then you have the Tsukishima moment in Nekoma, bro.
Teacher,
like
student past the teacher, man.
Bro, come on. I'm just like, the Suki moment hit so hard. It just hit so hard. And then the spear and Yamaguchi getting his. And I'm just like,
and then, like, the
literally, like,
their past and how it
bro, the past.
The high five, bro. Yeah.
The high five was so clean. I was crying.
With Suki, I have so much bias.
I was crying at the high five, bro. Because you don't see that emotion from Suki. You don't see that, bro, man.
That's why I love. Yeah, one of my favorite moments.
And the Kuro was asking like, "Are you having fun with volleyball?" And he's like,
"Yeah,
sometimes it's fun." I'm like, "Yo, that's amazing."
Oh, man. Bro, the Nekoma match for me, bro. It has to be Nekoma.
Yeah,
it's so still top 3.
It's so tough. Yeah, well, I mean, he's risen up for me because it's like at the start of the series, I didn't like him. His personality drove me up the wall and stuff, and how he kind of like acted like how he was like better than everyone else, and just like, yo, you got to prove on the court. Don't give me this personality bullshit. But then after like he developed, and Shiratorizawa had his moments and stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing this. I need to see more. Then afterwards, you see going into like, the later parts of the series, afterwards in the training camp with him, Hinata, Hyakuzawa, all of them and everything, where he's showing the interest of getting better, and then going to the Nekoma matchup afterwards, for that passing of the torch and stuff, where it's like, yeah, I'm having a little bit of fun, and then it's like at the end of the series, now he's committed to the game. Like a guy to go from no commitment to stuff with his brother, kind of breaking down his hopes and dreams and stuff, to now being like possibly like they were saying, like I think with the Sendai Frogs with him, Kyotani, Kogane and stuff, that apparently that team could eventually make Division 1 because they do the whole promotion like how the Premier League is with like Premier League Championship and all that. And I'm like, yo, if that is the case, bro, it shows like yeah, he's really up there now because of the dedication he's put into his own work and stuff. But yeah, he's definitely went up there for me in terms of like development and stuff. Washijo we talked about too as well. Like I despise, look man, anyone who goes against Hinata, you got a target on for life. But that target completely removed when he's like, yo, I want to rep the Erling Haaland of Haikyu, man. Like just raw potential, dog. Yeah, that's my guy, bro. Like
Washijo is top tier.
He is, man. Man, I can't not talk enough about that man. Just glorious. And Takeda and everything, Yukai. Even
Also,
a little bits of Fuki as well, man. Just because, like, even though he had very minuscule time in the series, his whatever words he said had impact on it. You know, like
even in the latest chapter, we got to see like Suki still like grinding because whenever he sees Hinata now, he gets like motivated to get better.
Yeah,
and, like I mean, like it's like, oh, we're gonna watch the game. It's like, no, I can't just sit around. And he went to go like, oh man.
Yeah, I saw something that someone was saying that he was practicing jump floaters. I didn't take notice because like the fact that like the way he was in the paneling where he was like going down or stuff, it was almost like he was doing the jump floaters. I didn't initially take that in because I thought, oh, he's just getting himself set up and everything. But if that is the case, and because of Hinata, then that's madness. Yep. That's absolutely bad.
He's on the grind, bro.
Exactly.
Also got a team that could potentially be Division 1 at some point, like you said. So.
Exactly, yeah.
Nagawa, Kyotani.
Yeah. I was happy to see Kyotani too, because I was wondering when the hell he's going to come back, right? With the whole Oikawa stuff and everything. So see him now still playing volleyball too. And, like, you know, he's more calmer. He's not the mad dog like he was before and everything. But, yeah, just it's great to see him too. But let me see. Oh, Tendo's backstory, yeah. That, bro, I bought Volume 20 because of Tendo's backstory, because that thing was just so glorious. Like, my guest monster. Like, it's so tough because there's so many phenomenal characters, and there's days where I had Tendo as my favorites, and then he was in my top 5, and he's barely outside the top 10 because of how much development other characters have had. But then you get chapters like these where he's, like, you know, doing his own thing and all that. Like, it's tough not to take him out of my top 10, you know, like, but absolutely glorious. But what else is there we can discuss? I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but like to pinpoint on one specific thing, because characters, I mean, that's something I want to say for the video. But like, I know with Jay, it was him for Bokuto. But SK, how about you? Is there one character who stood out the most for you that you're like, yeah, this is my guy, like no matter what?
Okay, so from let's see, because there's like Hinata, Suki, and Bokuto have been like they've been like battling for top 1. Like they're all gonna be top 3, but like. Mm-hmm. I feel like Hinata might just solidify himself as top 1, honestly, at this point. Because like that man's development and progression throughout the story, and just seeing him grow and kind of growing with him, it's like it hits so different. It's insane.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Hey Jake, what's good, bro?
Yeah, what's good, Jake?
What's good? Last was good, SK.
Hey, let me know your thoughts on this final chapter, because I got it from Jay and SK before. But how did you feel about the chapter itself? Were you satisfied with how it concluded? If there was anything you felt you wish you could have saw in it? Just your thoughts on it, man.
I mean, obviously, we all would have wanted to see like the full match, but it's like I'm still very satisfied with what I got. Like emotionally, everything hit probably as hard as if we had gotten to see the full match, just because of like all of the hype behind it, the characters that are involved, like the long journey that you've been in since chapter 1 or episode 1 or however long it's been. Like it just fully wraps it up, and I was just satisfied.
Yeah, like man, I know the Olympics thing. I know, like I would love that arc, and even if it was like a sequel series, we could to get it would have been awesome. But just the fact that they made it to that stage, they got there, they're able to play on the national stage and stuff with everybody. I can't ask for anything more, honestly. But I guess we could talk about the national team, like in terms of like the people that were in it. How did you guys feel that they the Furudate went with the whole Monster Generation style of creating this team? Because I had figured they were gonna have some veterans like Hirogami, Mayen, and stuff. But the fact that they went very Monster Generation for this roster, like, were you fine with it? Because it's like, you know, you need some veterans to win championships, and maybe that's kind of an indicator that they probably don't win it because of how many youngsters that they have on this team that are playing. But like, if you felt like, you know, they should have had some kind of different vibe to it, or like, were you satisfied with the?
I think I was mainly satisfied with it because I think they were trying to like or showcase like how the Monster Generation is just like actually a threat to like even like the monster players that they have.
Yeah. Like
on other teams, but is there like is the whole team just what we saw either? Because I don't even know if there have been more players.
I have to look because there's apparently an interview that was out that actually tells you like who made the team and stuff exactly. But when I saw that, I think the only omission that I didn't notice after the fact was when we saw Iran that was a part of the team. So I was like, okay, but everyone else, I'm thinking, okay, like when I checked the interview after the fact, I'm like, okay, everyone's here, but Iran was the only one I don't think was stated. So unless like Furudate says something afterwards, like we get like an actual like a roster page and stuff, because I think if they're going for like 12, 13 players, which is I think the official roster size Olympic teams are supposed to have, you can have a 23-man roster, but it's almost like with football teams, soccer teams, where it's like you have your main 11 or main 18, and then you have your other guys who are like the reserves and stuff. So I mean, they could do like that possibly.
I think they have more reserves because someone has a 19 jersey on with the Olympics jerseys in that panel. So there's only 12 people from what I counted. Yeah. So there's probably like other veteran players, but I think they just for this chapter showcase the Monster Generation since we didn't really see much of the match anyway. So
I saw Ragi the whole thing with Kiryu. I mean, I was a little sad, but you know, Aran he's fine for that team, especially because it connected with the whole Shinsuke thing. I was fine with it, but I just take it that Kiryu's on the sides. You know, he got injured or something. You know, he could have been on there, but I'll take it regardless. But
yeah, I wish he was there.
Yeah, I mean, I was also surprised too. I mean, Yaku, not like I shouldn't say I was surprised because Yaku was one of the best liberos that we got in this series, but I'm surprised that they actually fit 2 in there for the team. And maybe it makes sense because let's say Commodore got hurt, then you're gonna need a libero. So having Yaku in there was perfect. I think of Nishinoya though, honestly, if he kept on going, and I respect the path that he went down afterwards, but I would have honestly loved him to be our main libero because that would have been just so glorious, man. The Rolling Thunder on the world stage.
Oh, man.
That would have been so glorious.
Oh, my God.
That would have hit so different.
Can you, like, imagine Rolling Thunder and then Kageyama set up for, like, Bokuto and you gain, like, the hey and stuff afterwards. Like, just the amount of, like, energy, adrenaline, like, coming off the stadium. Like, that roof would come unglued. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was made for the bright lights, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
him and Bokuto on a team. Oh my god.
Oh man.
I mean, like Kageyama will probably like him and Asumu would probably lose their mind. Sakazai for a fact would lose his damn mind having to do with all those guys, and they would probably be fighting it out and stuff every game, but they would be catching dubs all the time. So
it's just so chaotic, like the whole team.
At the very least, no, there's no like issues with that with them, but man, like let me see what else the chat would be saying too. If there's anything else that you guys want to be asking, because. There is a lot, but it's hard to like process when my brain cells have yet to recover from yesterday. Like I have not felt that emotional with an end of a series since like probably Gintama and like 703 specifically if you've read the manga for that, because that's the most I've ever broke down for a chapter. But like this is like the post depression right now for Haikyu. But I saw earlier, what was your favorite quote? So I know for you guys you can search up too if it doesn't come off the top, but for me I know like the very first one with Hinata and stuff at the beginning of the series, like the wall looming and stuff, I really love that. But I really love the one that Kuro has in the second to last chapter, talking about how sports is like amazing. I dare you to find anything else that's more profitable and enjoyable than that. It's like that whole thing, how it helps like the economy, and it's true. Like it helps people like, you know, come out of their comfort zones, make friends, you know, be able to make a business out of this stuff, and it brings the world together. There's no other thing aside from sports that can do that. And the fact that you have Kuro who's working with the JVA doing that kind of stuff, unleashing a quote like that, is phenomenal, man. But there's any quotes for you guys that stood out and you're like, yeah, this is superior, like
off the top, just like
go ahead.
Oh, okay, no, I was just gonna say like some of the like Takeda's whole speech, like to Hinata in like 365, 366, where he's like, "This is still volleyball and everything." Yeah. That's like that. I know it's not really like a quote because that's like a whole thing, but like just everything he said in that chapter, just everything's so quotable. It's so
that
good.
Speech. I literally like I haven't like felt it hit so hard because like Hinata was so helpless in that moment, and he had to explain to him that like you can't do anything in this moment. All you have to do is take this experience, move on, and make yourself better. Be prepared. And the fact that he did take it into account and that he did move forward and he put himself in the top of his physique. So, like, I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah. I saw
But for me, I think my favorite quote is from Kageyama. He said, "The only time I will feel despair is when I can't play volleyball anymore."
Yeah.
So that hit. Oh.
My God, bro. The lines that some of these characters be saying, bro, it's like one of those where you can sit the whole day and just think about it. Like the one that's just saw right now in the chat that Lila Joba put up. Today you are defeated, but what will you be tomorrow?
Oh,
Because the
yeah.
whole thing we were talking about earlier,
Yep.
that's
Double
because
pinch
again it went for everything after the time skip. So what are you gonna be tomorrow? I'm gonna do my thing. Like you know,
Sir.
there's way too many, man. You can honestly do like a book on every single quote in the series and the meme behind it. I think the one too of Oikawa, and I think someone has to clarify for me the exact quotes and stuff for it. But the one where he's like, talking about it's like, I have to look this up for me because it's such a beautiful thing. You want to mess it up. But I know for him, like, he's had some great... Like, the one we had with Ushijima about his worthless pride was just to the T, because that's just who his character is and stuff.
I
and,
love
like,
Oikawa.
you never forget that stuff with him. But I think it's this one, if I have it right here. Because I do appreciate the wiki. It gives you, like, the quotes and stuff with it, so you never forget some of these things. But where is it? Yeah, the chance to let your talent truly blossom, perhaps it's today or maybe it's tomorrow, the day after tomorrow next year, or perhaps even when you're 30. In regards to physique, I can't say much. But if you think that you don't have talent, then you'll probably never have it.
Yeah.
And just little things like that where it's like, if you question yourself that this is as far as you can go, or like, the second you have doubt in your mind, you've already lost. You never are supposed to be having that kind of doubt. Otherwise, you just gave up on yourself, and it's great for his character because even though he knew like the chances of him making that Japan national team were probably like, I wouldn't say slim to none, but it was very tough to get by Kageyama and Tsumu, who are at the top of their game. For him to go and find a different path like how Hinata did to get to where he is afterwards now, where he's starting setter for like Argentina and stuff, he's a living embodiment of his words, man. Yeah, I think that was that the one, Ragi? I think that was the one, yeah. It happened to me in real life and I legit had chills when I saw it in the anime, yeah, like some of them things, man, like absolutely bonkers. I think Jose Blanco had one too that like it was almost similar to that as well. But great stuff. Yeah, are you watching Our Ordinary Ace? Yeah, the Bokuto one in the Jackals match. Yeah. Oh man.
Also, you guys talked about it before, but thank you for protecting my gift when he was talking, or Ushijima talking to his dad.
Beautiful.
That one,
beautiful.
In terms of his character, that's just beautiful. It was so good.
Because we were just talking about earlier, like his character, like you never think that he had that personality to kind of like discuss something like that with his dad or like anybody in general. Because he's so quiet and reserved, but to have that where he says it, and it's like he actually thought he cared about what his dad did for him, so he wanted to wait for that one moment to tell him. When he was able to get there, it's like, without you and what you did for me, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you for protecting my gift. Like, glorious. Favorite
that
banner?
Just gave me chills again.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough when I reread and rewatch all this stuff, like, especially like watching this all be animated. It's gonna be, oh man, my heart's not gonna be the same. It's not the same now, but it won't be the same after. But favorite banner, I'm gonna probably still say Inarazaki's. We don't need memories.
Oh, easily. Who needs memories, man?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yo.
Like for me, it's tough because it's like I do need the memories right now to kind of cope with this depression. But the whole thing, it's like if you rely on your memories and the past and everything, then you're never gonna be able to move forward. And that's such a huge thing with all these characters. Like even Natsumu and Osamu, like the whole thing about Osamu wanting to like finish up volleyball, start up his own business and stuff, and then how him and Tsumu were having that whole competition, like who's gonna have the better life when they get older and everything. And how like they decided not to rely on the past but keep moving towards towards the future and everything, and just seeing like where Atsumu is, he's thriving and playing volleyball. Atsumu is thriving, running his own shop, and then even seeing other guys like Aran doing his thing, playing in Division 1. You're seeing Shinsuke opening up his own like rice farm and stuff. Like just everybody's just happy they're doing their thing, and like you can't be upset that they went down the path that they went on, man. Just. Let me see. Connect, Fly is all really close. Yeah. Connect, I believe, I could be wrong on that. Connect, I think, is the one for Nekoma. I'm going to have to go back on the banners, but I know Fly is the Karasuna one, of course. But, yeah, like, favorite school chant? Inarizaki, I would think probably for me. Sure, Torzawa was there for a while, but Inarizaki. I mean, I love Karasunos and everything Saiko brought in with the drums and all that and just getting them ready, but Inarazaki's just also for the fact that we had Atsumu just telling them shut up. Like
exactly,
what I'm saying? Like it was GOAT, but it's like, okay, now you shut up. But that's how if it's something GOAT and that guy tells you to be quiet about it, like greatness. But yeah,
go, let's go, Date. Yo, that's just hype.
bro, Date Tech, man, just bro. It's crazy how we faced off a team in Commodore, which were like the elite version of them, but it spoke volumes of what Date Tech would become after when they actually do be Karasuno the next like spring tournament and stuff, or like the qualification to get there and stuff. Just madness. Let me see if there's any other ones. Favorite Haikyu song? So I guess like the opening and stuff. For me, I'm gonna go opening 2 because I have so much nostalgia with that one. I just feel that's Haikyu to me. Every time I listen to opening 2, like that one just glorious. But I love the new one right now for opening 4. But opening 2 for me. What about you guys? If there's one from like the anime that you guys really like, you listen to, you're like, yeah, this is the one.
I'm trying to I'll look it up. Let me see which one this is.
It's just so many. The endings too, I would say for me, the one for season 3, where the one that has like the Shiratorizawa one, that was like really good. It was like all the characters like coming together and stuff. The song was just really good for it. But let me see.
Opening 4 for me.
Opening 4? Okay. I respect that. It's a really good one.
That first 5 seconds hits so hard, bro. Like, man.
Let me see. Ragi asked, have you guys talked about how Hinata basically ended up saying, sorry, but I'm going to get my girl in Brazil, and Yachi ship sank? Did he say that? See, Ragi, I saw the comment afterwards, but I didn't see, like, was it specifically he stated that he said that, or like, because I was so confused when I saw the tweet. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, Hinata, like, it was, provide me the context on it, because it might have been something I might have missed over when the last of my brain cells just like disappeared as I read that chapter. Like, just a favorite captain. I was also say Kita for me. Kita. That's my leader.
I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with Daichi. I'm sorry.
Daichi.
I gotta go with Daichi.
The great pick. Yeah, Daichi. I mean, definitely. SKW. Oh, if he's there, hold on.
He's muted.
Yeah. But no, let me see. I'm trying to see the thing for Rocky, because now I'm like a little scared, bro. Because like, yeah, I don't know like what that was from though. To be honest, let me see. The U season 4 is opening in episode 9 when they enter the national stage. Did they actually? Oh, I mean, yeah, they did. It was just me fooling around. Oh, okay. No, I still believe the Hinata Yachi. Like he went to Brazil. Yeah, he did his own thing, but he bagged Yachi, man. Like I'm telling you right now, if I go look at that panel of her holding up her phone while she's working, I see a ring, bro, then it's over.
Oh man,
I take that, man, because like those two, Kyoko and Tanaka, like just amazing. I do hope the one couple that stayed as is was Suguru and Mika from Nohibe, because I love their interactions when they were during the nationals, because like this is something I hope that the anime doesn't skip over, because they kind of went early into the Inarizaki match at the end of the first course season 4. Was like, you know how like we saw Mika and Suguru that were there, and Mika's kind of basically the readers during this moment where she's learning all the stuff about volleyball, like the more advanced technological stuff that's going on with it. And I feel like not having her and Suguru's coverage there, maybe they get shown in the crowd or something afterwards, but I'm hoping that they're there, because they basically are the viewers, the first time watchers of the series who don't know some of the rules and are getting to see that firsthand experience. I really do hope that the anime doesn't skip that over, because to me it's one of my favorite little things about the Nationals arc that you come to appreciate and respect afterwards, because again, it's something that Furudate implements into the story, and it's like you don't notice that until you really look into and see, oh yeah, like this is for the readers, basically. That's why like she's there, this game's little coverage and all that. But let me see. Yeah, Ryunoka. Yeah, I was like that too, Jake. I really wanted that to really ship as well. But even even the Kanoka and Nishinoya, I would have taken too, just because of the chance ball he had to himself. But I would have taken that. But regardless,
bro, that was one of the funniest moments when Ryunosuke was like, "I have a chance." He was like, "Oh man, that was hilarious."
I love how the anime handled that too, man. It's like, God damn, like they did not miss the beat at all. Let me see. There's another one I met. One of my favorite things about Haikyuu is how conceited it is. It recognizes volleyball is great, but doesn't act like going pro is the only way to be successful in life. Absolutely, because you see everybody else. You know, Tenma, when he decided he was going to do his own thing, you know, becoming like an author and stuff, or mangaka and everything like himself, which is glorious. And, you know, even like everyone else, like Kita on the farms, even the guys who were still affiliated to volleyball but not actually just playing the sport itself, like Kuro and the JVA and everything, like Iwazumi as a trainer, like there's so many other routes that you can go in That doesn't have to be just you. Oh yeah, you're playing volleyball and that's it. That's all your life is gonna be worth. Like that wasn't the case. Even some guys who were like, I think I forgot which character it was in the end of the last chapter, but they were like in between jobs and stuff. And to be honest, that's something like for most of us, we're working in between different places and stuff. Like we're not like a concrete plan right now. We're still like free spirits and everything. So I do like how Furudate did that. Let me see. I need Mika and Suguru to end up like Nisei and Heitor. Facts. Bro, Heitor and Nisei were oh man, they were probably one of my favorite additions to the series. From that Brazil arc. This guy like scare the hell out of my boy Hinata. Like yo, like I need sponsors, man. I need you to help me out. I hear you're a ninja. Like and then the fact that they were boys afterwards, just amazing, man. But let me see. Favorite.
You guys were talking about our favorite characters earlier.
Yeah. So that one I'm kind of waiting until I do like the top 10 for that and stuff. But people pretty much know. But pretty much people know like who my top 2 are. But Jake, for you, I know you have to be Kageyama's your top 1. There's like no question.
Kageyama top 1, and then number 2, it's a sleeper pick, but I got Kenma right there. Kenma is right next to Kageyama.
Yeah, dude, Kenma is so goat, bro. Like,
oh my gosh, bro. Like, when he finally said it was fun, like that, it hit so much harder than them winning the match. I'm sorry. And then, oh my god.
Just the feelings and stuff that he had too for that whole thing, where it's like, no, this is fun. Like Hinata doing the whole thing to try and make this guy say that volleyball was a fun time and everything, and how he thanked like Kuro for getting him into the sport. Like that's my YouTuber, man. I'm there with the subs. I'm there with the Patreon.
Exactly.
I'm supporting him, man. The Twitch streams, no matter what it is, bro.
I'm donating.
If the platforms don't give him a bag, I will gladly give him a bag. Like that's just
exactly.
How it is, man.
We're there. We're not gonna let Kenma flop. Not a chance.
All right, Jay. Thanks for coming through, bro. If you have time afterwards to jump in, but I'm probably gonna wrap up in like half an hour because I want to go like 2 hours at the very least with this. But I appreciate you coming through, man. But let me see. Yeah, Joel says Hinata, Kageyama, and Oikawa top 3 for me. I see that for a lot of people, and usually it's the other way around where it's like Hinata, Kageyama, and then Oikawa. But that's like the consensus that I see for a lot of people who have those as their top 3. But for me, it's I could give away my top 3, but I think everything else it probably depends. But for me, I know it's Hinata, Kageyama, and Kenma. Like for me, easily. Kenma. That's my Metal Gear guy, but his whole storyline and stuff with Hinata was just so special, man. Like, and just seeing like where he ended up after, like,
and the flashback with Kuro,
exactly,
that was, true. Oh man,
because it provides so much more context of their life and everything, and like how they met, and like what the sport of volleyball meant to the both of them before, during, and after that whole match with Karasuno. Like, yeah, just.
And then he thanked him for teaching him how to play. Oh man,
yeah, exactly. And I was expecting my boy to cry Kuro, but it's like, nah, he held it in until the Nekomata.
Dude, so, man, I was crying. I was like, I don't know how he's not crying. I'm over here pieces.
I was about to start crying when they were about to do the handshake and stuff with Nekomata and Young Yukai for that, because the old guy wasn't there and everything too. But it was for that. But I think it was as soon as Nekomata had a conversation with them, and he was like saying, thank you for being part of this team. I had a great time and stuff. And just remembering the little part where Kenma looks at him and you see like the flashback of how they met Nekomata, just like that was about to kill me inside.
Oh man.
Let's see. Have we gone through the top girls in here? Not yet, Raggy. That is something we're definitely gonna get into in a little bit. Because man, the women in this series absolutely glorious. Like even if they aren't like like again, but then again, no, we got into their bits and stuff here and there too, which will have their own importance in the story as well. Maybe not in the stratosphere like everyone else's, but. Still some amazing stuff, but
Kyoko, she got some stuff.
Yeah, but before we get to those stuff, SK, for you, what would you say your favorite characters, like your top 3? Because Jake and I kind of gave ours, but for you, what would you say?
Yeah, Hinata, Suki, Bokuto, I think for me, and then Kageyama's 4th, just because I have to have them on there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
they're all extremely close.
Yeah, I don't think there's a character that's like disliked in the series, even if there aren't like absolute favorites. But like, I don't think there's a character that could be like said disliked. Maybe
there are.
You think
there are 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember it's the 2 most hated characters in the series are the ones that Atsumu was telling to shut up when he was trying to serve.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Easily the most hated.
The ignorant fangirls, I remember them.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that for sure. Terushima was that for me as well. A character I really didn't like before, but now like I'm fine with him. Became a hairstylist and stuff. He's giving all my characters fades and stuff as he should be. So that's all good. I'm pretty sure he's the one that gave Tendo his fade, which it's not canon, but I'm gonna make it canon regardless. But yeah, I mean, for the best girls though, man, like it's tough because like for me, I'm a Yachi stan. She's absolutely glorious. Like you got to protect her with life. Like I'm there on the front lines defending that house while she's doing her work. Like that's just how it is, man. Kyoko, amazing too as well. Even like Yui, just getting to see like her as well. Kanoka, Sayako.
Yeah, Psycho's top one for me.
Man, I still will never forget her debut with the car when she pulled up.
Oh
Get in, like dog, like yo. And then Ryunosuke like giving out like the warning sign and stuff. Like, yeah, I can't be responsible for what's gonna happen in that car because she's reckless and everything. But like, huh? like,
huh?
Oh my god, yo, she was just so goat, bro. And then like even Mika too. Again, we were talking about her before. She was so good. Her, I think it was I'm gonna have to check the name just to be sure. But the girl from Fukurodani. And she was like the one that loved like the eating and stuff, right? She was always eating like the food and stuff off the plates. I'm trying to remember her name. Yuki. So the one where they're at the barbecue grill and stuff, and like how they're trying to get the food, and she goes just takes the whole damn plate and just eats everything.
Oh,
Yuki,
okay, yeah.
She, I love her, man. She was awesome too. Alyssa and then Alyssa and Elise. Yamamoto's sister, the one who went a photographer and stuff and everything, or a reporter. She was great, but Alyssa Haiba, man, Jesus Christ, that is, man, that she literally is in her prime years. Like, my God,
Thanks.
Like even though they're not connected to volleyball anymore like they were before, but my God,
hey, they're getting that bag. They're models now.
Facts.
What the?
Exactly.
Yeah, making big money.
Yeah,
twin models, yeah,
exactly. I mean, like
That's
Lev out here got the drip and stuff, but like Alice is just is a different monster. That is something else, man. Like that's probably like one of the like best looking characters I've seen. Like just the final design, just out of this world.
Easily.
Man, who also wanted to see as well, because I really liked her interactions with Hinata, but his sister Natsu. I really wish we did get to see a little bit more from them, because I feel like Hinata's family was kind of like not really covered too much. But her little bits though, she had Hinata saying like, you become more friends with the volleyball over time. Jesus, man, like, because then you really understand like his relationship with volleyball and everything, where he wanted to get better at it, didn't really have like again the talents and stuff. All he had was the jump and stuff. But over time, he started to get better and better, and now his connection with the ball has become more stronger than it was before. And the fact that his sister was making that acknowledgement of like saying that. Just really cool. That's probably one of the one things I really wish we got to see more of his family with Hinata, because I figure like especially with the dad not being in the mix too much, there's probably gonna be something with it, but maybe that's covered in the light novels and we don't know about. It doesn't have to be like a main focal point, but it's always something of curiosity, like what's going on, like where's the family into these parts. It's like with Sakaza, where it's like I was worried that we weren't gonna get too much out of his character, but I'm glad we did. Getting to know that with him and Komori being cousins, which was a huge twist. I didn't think they'd have any family relations. They were just, kind of like a Kuro kind of relationship with their neighbors or something. But, just getting to see that with him. That's still my ace, by the way. Like, even if Bokuto is the top one ace, Sakaza, that's my guy, man. Like, them wrists, man. I'm telling you.
The wrist, bro. Oh, that was hard, bro.
The spin, bro. Like, that stuff is insane.
Flexible. Yeah.
And the fact that he found someone else out there who was better at that than him, than Ushijima, which I think now when we look at the top three aces, Ushijima was the number one ace. Like between all three, him, Sakaza, and Kiryu, he was the top guy there. And I think, and then when you look back on it, it's crazy because like we defeated the number one guy and stopped him from going to nationals, and then we still have these two other monsters that are lurking in the weights. And the fact that even though obviously of course Fukurodani got towards Mujin Osaka, defeated Kiryu, Sakaza's team, unfortunately they went down because of the injury to their setter, their captain, and everything. But yeah, man, just their own demons themselves, but Ushijima really was the number one because he was the inspiration for a lot of them, and inspiration, the rivalry, and everything. Like he was the gold standard, right? So yeah, Sakaza just, I don't know, man. That's the whole style of his character, man. Just absolutely amazing. Love him. Let me see. I want to see her at one of the matches. If you, Abdel, if you're talking about with Natsu, yeah, I would have loved to seen her there. At least watching for her brother and stuff, because they were in Sendai, I think, for the last matchup too. So depends on the travel from Miyagi and everything. But let's see. Did you realize the last page of the last chapter implies that Hinata may have won against Kageyama more than one time? We already know after going pro. Is that the case? Because I mean, Maybe I don't know. I think maybe close to a tie. Like that would it would be more interesting if that was like a tie right there. Like when that matchup was happening in the final chapter, like in the last page, like they were tied, and now I was gonna see like who was gonna be the winner of that matchup, especially being the final and stuff. That's how I kind of looked at it afterwards. But
Mhm.
yeah. Let's see. Secret Country says I'd say Ushijima is a better spiker, but I think Sakaza is better overall receiving kicks. Defensively, I think that was his best attributes too. Like he just had a phenomenal receive, knew how to get in proper positions for everything and stuff. So yeah, Sakaza is just my guy, regardless. Oh no, it was to talk about the Adlers game. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Let me see. I also really love again the flashback though for Kageyama. I mean,
Beautiful.
like for you guys, for me though, it's my favorite flashback. But I'm for the series and stuff. But for you guys, like what, like when you like before we even got it, right? Did you feel that we need to get that for Hinata and Kageyama? Like wanted just to see more insight into their past. Did you care about that? And then like after when you got it, like did your appreciation for Kageyama like go up more than initially did like before that?
Definitely. So for the flashback, I did not think we were gonna get Kageyama flashback, but like I really wanted one because I was like, I don't really know. I know him from what he's doing currently, but I want to know how he got here. And like we already knew that he went to the same middle school as Oikawa and he was learning from him, but I wanted to see like more like some of his family and whatnot, and we got to see that, and I was like, this is just amazing. Like oh, oh man, somebody better is gonna come and find you. Oh man, like, oh
That
man.
hit my soul, man. And it's like, you know what's crazier too is because when you go back and see the cover pages after where it shows Kazuo, where he actually played as an alumnus for sure Torizawa, and it makes it hurt even more that Kagen was trying to get into there, got denied from the place that his grandfather used to play at. Just and then it's after he loses him. Like that, I didn't take that detail until after the fact, and I was just staring at my wall, just like sad. Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
bro, why would you do this to me for that day? Like, and just that whole thing where like it was slowly showing like everything was disappearing from him. His sister stopped playing volleyball because she had her boyfriend and stuff. Kazuo's health was starting to like deplete after. Oikawa was already driving Kageyama nuts at one point, and then he
Mhm.
leaves, and then Kidanchi and Kunimi didn't really want like that connection and stuff at the time, and then because Kageyama's personality started to get the better of him, and it's kind of sad. This is all during the time too of when he got into Daichi Kitagawa for his
Uh-huh.
middle school and stuff. So to see like his whole world start to crumble, and then after you gain that moment where you see everything's breaking down, I can't wait for how the anime is gonna do it. But if it's gonna be like in pitch black, and then like if you hear like Hinata saying "I'm here," and then just seeing like that moment after where he's just looking at him as he's coming down, and then says, "Somebody one day will come. Somebody better will come one day to find you." It's like, uh,
Oh my god, the anime could kill
that
this.
scene. That's the one,
The,
the
Yeah,
one
I
scene
think
I'm
it
looking
will.
forward to the most.
oh,
Of all the scenes in
Based
the
on like
series, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. Like, because that's like top 3 chapter in the series for me. Because I didn't know I needed it, and we got it, and it's absolute, man. Like,
yep,
yeah.
kind of like hit me by surprise, but it hit every mark. So
yeah.
yeah,
Joel
that was
says Kageyama's backstory elevated his character to heights I didn't think he needed to reach, and it was incredible. That's the thing, because I don't think, there's some characters who probably didn't need these little things because they were great in their own right. But as I said, it elevated him to another tier that we didn't think they would get there. But now it's almost like Kageyama was a favorite for a lot of people, but I think this cemented his place among the absolute favorites. Like, if you didn't love him after all of that, then it just never was meant to be. Like, he'll never be up there for you. But after that, it's like he's, to me, top 3 all time in the series. Like I can't see him falling off number 2 like ever. Even with like rereads and rewatching stuff of the series, I just can't see that like ever changing for me. So
Yeah.
man, let me see. Seeing the new Karasuno, go see MSBY, Black Jackals or Adlers hit me in the feels. Even if it was just one panel. Yeah. Oh yeah. When the Yukai talking about the kids and stuff. Yeah. Because I mean, they show from the back like what the kids like, look like and everything. But yeah, it was just nice to see like the younger generation coming to watch the senpais, like the older gen. Now our prior older younger gens, and now they're the current gen. Just seeing them going at it. So that was a really cool detail in there. I remember I made the mistake of reading chapter 387 and then watching episode 1 with my cousin. Like right out, man. I cannot like I think chapter 1 of the series has more value to it after every chapter of the series, but I think after 387, I think now it's like to me one of the best first chapters of a series, because it's like this is the origins of everything that was created, and then once you get those extensions, those olive branches are like, the threads are starting to tie into things that connect back to that moment and make it better in its quality of what it was. Like, oh my god. So man, 8 years the series was ongoing, and like never dropped a chapter, never missed a beat. Like 402 for 402 from the field. Like no other series can say they can do that.
Oh man.
Yeah, he really did not miss at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
Well, I'm curious. You know what? Let's ask this though, because I know for the chat too. But where does Haikyuu for you guys rank right now? Obviously with the manga and stuff, but in terms of like just a series for you, like is this your favorite sports series? And overall, where do you have it for you guys? Because for me, it's without question my favorite sports series. If we do like the tiers, it's 1, and whatever is number 2 is just a lot lower, like because the gap is that crazy. But in terms of overall series, I think it's top 2. And the only series I can see topping it, depending on how it concludes, is One Piece. But if not, Haikyuu's gonna remain as my top 1. Like, but for you guys though, Jake and the SK, and then of course in the chat we'll take some of the responses to as well. But for you guys, what would you say like where Haikyuu ranks for you as a sports series, and then of course like all time, where is it rank with just the manga?
Okay, so as a sports series, it's easily top 1 because I think I might have made a mistake reading Haikyu as I think it's my very first sports series. So now if I read any other sports series, I'm gonna be like, not as good as Haikyu, not as good as Haikyu. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
So, like,
that's perfectly fine. Like,
but
I'm in the
I
same
mean,
boat.
like if I had a chance to do it again, I'm definitely taking it. I'm definitely reading Haikyu first, no matter what.
Yeah.
Just based off what I've already experienced, 402 chapters of this, like,
yeah. And it's not to take away from the anime either, because the anime is absolutely beautiful in handling the source material. It's just like a lot of people I saw, again, I talked about this early in the stream, but like back in the day, talking like 3-4 years ago, nobody really was talking about the manga. Like obviously on Twitter, people talk about and stuff. In terms of like a community here on YouTube, nobody really like gave it like the benefit of the doubt. So to see now where it's flourished, where people are constantly talking about it on this platform, making videos and all this stuff, to see that development, what's been like from 2017 to now, like I do love it, Because a lot of people back then thought this was just an anime original series. I'm like, no, it isn't. It has a source material. It's in Jump.
Yeah, it's great.
But how about you for SK? Like, or also Jake, what about all time series? Where do you think it ranks for you though too?
all time. I think that all time number 1 right now I have One Piece, and without Haikyuu in the list, I have HXH number 2. So I think I'm gonna have to put Haikyuu over HXH, but because of where One Piece is like heading right now, it still could be top 1. But for like where chapter for chapter, right now I've got Haikyuu over One Piece right now.
Yeah, I like weekly experience. Haikyuu's had that since, even though I only was caught up for like 10 to 15 chapters, which was sucked. I was still there, and like week to week experience, it definitely hit more than One Piece. But I think in terms of overall series, I think One Piece is still my top 1, just because I have like a deep connection with that series. But I think Haikyuu's 2 for me.
Yeah.
Like, but depending on how One Piece continues and ends, Haikyuu could take number 1. Depending on where we're going. So
that's the thing too, because it's like it could literally change. Like One Piece, where it depends on the ends and stuff, it'll be a different case. But as a completed story, it's tough, man, because now you have a body of work you can look through and see everything from start to finish. And then with other series are still ongoing, so it could change. They could get better in quality, it can get worse. But yeah, definitely it's top 2. I think for Shonen Jump titles, man, like even though the money or the like sales and stuff don't equate to its quote unquote quality and stuff, I don't think it really matters, because like I do think it'll get up there eventually once the anime does these certain parts and then people want to see the source materials. So but yeah, this is definitely, to me, I think their best sports series they've done. Like obviously Slam Dunk I know is highly regarded and everything, but I still feel like in no way could have done a lot more with Slam Dunk towards its end. It's the things that he built up, the threads he left behind and stuff. I just felt there wasn't really like a proper closure to the series, but it's probably the strongest 9 out of 10 series I've seen. That's the only way I can give it in terms of respect. But
get a Slam Dunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like finished series, I think Haikyuu and Steel Ball Run are like my top 2.
Yeah.
I'm still finishing Tokyo Ghoul Re, so
Yeah.
once I'm done with that.
I mean,
We'll see.
you know, it's crazy too because it's like, you know, with Jump, a lot of series when they come to their conclusion, they really have like a bad ending. But I think series like Gintama and Haikyu have kind of cut the mold or like, you know, breaking away from the
Breaking the
bad
mold,
streak.
yeah.
And you know, now they're basically considered like, you know, top tier series because they've had actually like great endings. Like people are satisfied with them. There's no
Yep.
looking at something like, man, I wish he could have done this, could have done that, we could have got this. Like there's these things that you would think for most series, but for them it's like not really, you know, like
Yeah, I mean, you can wish for things for like Haikyuu's ending, but like if you wanted the Olympics match, it wasn't like necessary for the plot. Like the
Yeah.
plot,
Yeah.
every plot thread like finished. It like got tied up. I don't know. I don't think there is more you could ask for, but in terms of story writing wise, I think it's pretty much perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna throw into Assassination Classroom. Thank you, Iman, for reminding that Assassination Classroom. Another one was brilliant, and the ending to like hit to home. Like man,
Yeah, so I
Koro
think you
Sensei
gotta watch.
greatness, man. But yeah, because that was a great one too. Because with the manga, I remember like at the time when I was getting into the series and stuff. This is back when like the translations were like super rough and like behind. Like sometimes it'd be like 2 or 3 chapters behind from the current release. So as soon as I got caught up to like Assassination Classroom Weekly, it was just another great one too. But I think yeah, I would say those 3 right now from like recent memory. Toriko, I would say like its last chapter itself, the last 2, I think were a great closure for it. But how it got there, it was rushed, but satisfying to me. So I would say yeah, Haikyu, Gintama, Toriko, Assassination Classroom, all of that, definitely. Let's see. Deep says, "Last, can you read my comment about symbolism? Where did you want? Let me see if I find that. If not, just repost it in the chat, and then I'll get that. But I'm pretty sure you mean it for Haikyuu and stuff. But let me see. No, I can't find it here. Just like yeah, just throw the comment back in here, and then I'll try and see. Yo, Matt, what's good, fam? If you wanna come in through, just talk about the greatness, bro. We're on Discord right now. I think you're in the server, so
Sir,
let me see. Is this man in here? I think he is. I don't know. I'll send him the invites if he wants to be in the stream. But let me see. This, that. But let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah, Assassination Classroom is what got me really into watching anime. Yeah, I've seen like a lot of like newer people who got into like anime and everything. For series like that, you know, but Assassination Classroom, yeah, another great one. Like Matsui is another mangaka I think is brilliant in their writing ability, and I think it's someone that's really should get coming back into the Jump soon. Because like especially when you're losing someone like Furudate, Sarachi not too long ago, like you need some of these top writers to start coming back and like, you know, providing their greatness, you know. Let's see. Casey asked last, could you see yourself having Haikyuu discussions monthly or semi-monthly moving forward? I mean, I'm still planning on doing discussion videos to talk about Haikyuu, like in terms of like, you know, my favorite characters, matches, themes, you know, like analysis on a character or something like over the course of time, right? So it's like maybe once a month, once every other month or something, because those videos, when I do them, I want to make sure that when I'm writing them out, when I'm editing them and everything, they come out the way that I want it to be. So like I'm not just throwing it out there, just throw it out there. Like I want the love and effort to be put in there and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, Matt, we're probably going to go on for maybe like another, like, I'll say another 20-30 minutes if you want to come through right now. Because I was going to try to go for 2 hours, but if you want to come through and talk about it, we can extend it for another half an hour if there's anything you want to add into it. But I just sent the Discord link on Twitter, so let me see if you're in here already. I'll get you in after.
We just need this Haikyu top 30, man.
We
what
really do.
the
You know
hell?
what? That might be. You know what? I'll
characters?
consider. You know what? Before the anime comes back, I will consider doing that. If
I'm
people
gonna
want
need
to be a
to
part
think
of
of that list.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be super tough. Because like,
I mean, I know my top. Actually, I don't even know if I know my fifth.
like my top 3 is gonna be easy. Even top 5 is tough. But like after that, it's like I love every single one of them. So I'm gonna have to put them all like tied at this number, right? Because they're
All tied at 1 to 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it by characters, or we could like power scale the volleyballer. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
Are we adding
Power
characters
scale
like
the positions, I
Washijo
mean,
and stuff?
yeah.
Like, you know, playing career. I don't know. Like, you know, but the fantasy drafts also too would be great. If you guys have seen before, I did like wrestling drafts, the Shonen Jump drafts and stuff before. So like, I think Haikyuu one to build like your own team, I think would actually be a really cool concept to do as well. Kolnik Saw says, I really want to ask, can I get your opinion on about Hakuzawa's overall character development regarding volleyball when he was not interested in volleyball but then became a national player? I mean, with him, because remember, he was the definition of raw potential. Like, he's someone who got into it because of his heights and stuff, even if he didn't like it initially. But again, like with Tsukishima, even though he didn't have that interest and enjoyment and stuff initially at the start, after the interaction with Hinata, and again, I think he's like the best like motivational hype man you can ever ask for in a character that gets somebody to get on to becoming better as a person, as a player, and everything. And because he met someone like that during the training camps to kind of help improve his mood and his overall game and stuff, and just like the little works that he was missing out on him, like after that, man, like, you know, he went on to become something special. And the fact that he went Division 1 to play on the national team and stuff, and you remember when Furudate made like the dream team and all that kind of stuff, he had Yakuzawa on the same team, I think, with like Oikawa, Ushijima, and all of them. So there were big plans set up for him, and then they came to fruition afterwards when we got towards the end. So, okay, let's see, Matt's in here already. Let me get, hold on. Where's the thing with this? Okay, yeah, just jump in the live studio after Matt. Just gave you the role. All right. Once he gets in, then afterwards we'll hear his thoughts on the greatness. But oh yeah, Deep, let me see. Yeah, you wrote down, so I read somewhere that Kuro and Bokuto are naturally attracted to Tsukishima because the symbol, Suki is the moon and Kuro the cat and Bokuto is the owl, are nocturnal. By contrast, they consider Hinata the sun. Yeah, little things like that, man, that Furudate puts in there. It's one of those where you have to really dive in and analyze these things to kind of get those things. I mean, with Tsukishima, we knew about the moon and stuff for so long. I think it's volume 11 has a cover with him and the moon, the backdrop and
Just
stuff.
ordered that, yep.
Moon's Halo and stuff too, for the stuff with him and the Ushijima lip lock and everything. Like, so yeah, I mean the symbolism definitely is something I probably would like to talk about, but it's one of those where you have to really like word by word, like just to analyze everything so you're not missing any details. But yeah, I got, let me see. Yeah, Matt's already in here. If you just click onto the live studio, you should be good to go. But you see if there's any more comments and stuff. If anyone wants to ask more questions while we wait for Matt to get in here. Let me see. I think that Haikyuu needs a game now. I would love to see a volleyball game from Haikyuu. I think it might be more exclusive to Japan, to be honest, because I feel like it would be tough to kind of market that here in the West because of like, it doesn't have that like Dragon Ball, like, you know, oh, if it comes out with a game, people are gonna buy it because people know about it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be tough. I mean, I would love to get it. I would love to see like, you know, a game like that, like a J Stars, like, or like, you know, their own thing, so you actually play it. But I mean, it's gonna be tough, right? Like, which company will be working on it and all that. But I would love to see a Haikyu volleyball game, like on PS4, PS5, or something like that. Would be dope.
That would go crazy, bro.
Yeah. Let me see. Is he in here? Yeah, he's in here. All right. Let's go, Matt. He's gonna probably get his headset on right now. Just interrupt him when you want.
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Wagwan, sir.
What's up, man?
Hey, you know, just chilling. How y'all living?
We good, man. Hey, we've been discussing the greatness, but I need to know your thoughts on it, sir. How did you feel about the series and, you know, the final chapter? Your thoughts on it? Was there anything you wanted to see in that final chapter you thought was missing or anything? And like,
no, nothing at all. Like, bro, everything literally was perfect. Like, yeah. Okay, bro, I'm definitely gonna I'm definitely gonna talk about this more.
Yeah.
I was really just trying to like finish making my thumbnail, honestly. Yeah. But anyhow, bro, Oikawa, like, let's just start there.
Yeah.
Yo, whenever I remember when I did my review where I think I did a live stream. Whenever Iwazumi was talking to Ushijima, I was like, yo, the way that conversation panned out to me is that Oikawa was standing out above everybody because they set it up so like whenever the match starts, they're like they're like Kageyama is breaking onto the international scene next season.
Yeah.
And then in Ushijima's flashback, he was visiting his dad's team because he wanted to break out on the international scene soon. Yeah. So the thing is that Oikawa was already on the international scene, and then Ushijima's like, yeah, I heard the rumors. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold up. You heard the rumors. So what that pretty much told me was that Oikawa was excelling. And what I think that goes back to is what he said right before he set the ball to Iwaizumi when he did that super long, accurate set.
Yeah.
He said, talent is something you bloom. Instinct is something you polish.
Yeah.
So what I took from that is that Oikawa wasn't always a monster. Right. Oikawa learned the very the most important part about volleyball at a very, very early age because of Iwaizumi. And that is 6 players that are stronger than any one person that is strong on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Oikawa had that. And then talent, remember, he goes to Blanco to talk because he was feeling insecure about Kageyama. He was feeling insecure about Ushijima.
Yeah.
Dude pretty much says to him, yo, if you haven't exerted all of your resources on making sure that you're as good as you possibly can be, I don't want to hear about all these other people being geniuses around you.
Yeah.
So to see that Oikawa essentially made his talent bloom at the college level or at the professional level, that puts him in a different stratosphere because yes, and Hinata is in the same vein. Hinata didn't really bloom his all of his skill and get the most out of it until he went overseas and until he had to break his fundamentals of volleyball. So I think that we saw Oikawa do that with Hinata to show us like, yo, Oikawa's on another level.
Yeah.
And I believe that the anime is going to expand on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're going to see more of that match like in the anime.
Definitely.
And I think Oikawa's going to go crazy. But I mean, the dude, it already said that Argentina beat Japan twice.
Yeah.
It said that they beat them twice, dude. So it's like, yo, has Oikawa just been this sleeping giant the entire time? And he just didn't have because I mean, let's be honest, he was carrying Seijo.
He was.
Yeah.
Facts.
And he beat Hinata and Kageyama before they got time together. So it took 2 monsters to beat one character.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that Furudate waited to show us Nakoma and show us Seijo because those were the characters, those were the teams that we connected with the most as far as the rivalry goes and as far as just the emotional weight behind these matches. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you had the Kamomedai match.
Yeah.
Super emotional match, but like the matches that we got invested in early on was that Seijo match.
Yeah. Yeah. And to build the fundamentals for everything for afterwards and stuff, because without that attachment that we had to those earlier matches and stuff, you can't come to appreciate the stuff that comes later on. And then especially now when we're getting Oikawa at the end, like we were talking about earlier, he was the first antagonist and the last antagonist. Like his place in the series and like the importance of it was like, as the guy that elevated him to that next tier. And now because it's like, he's the final guy and stuff, like he's still that opposition. Like he chose instead of teaming up with these guys. And I felt like even then, if you say he would try to compete for that, like to be in the national team for Japan and stuff, it would have been very tough for him to get in there because I think he knew that trying to take out Kageyama and Atsumu, it would have been very tough to try and get in there. So I think him going to Argentina and making his own thing there, becoming his own guy and stuff, because now he's basically the star player in Argentina. He has this old coach as the current coach, took his number under him and everything. Like, and the fact that, like you said too, they've won before, it shows that he has been competing on this stage for a good amount of time to where there isn't a chance that Kageyama's going to try and eclipse him and become the better setter. Like right now, he's still like up there among the best. So yeah, Oikawa, man, just like
they were showing that Ushijima was struggling whenever he first like jumped onto the professional scene. That's not even the international scene.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were saying that Oikawa was that they heard the rumors and Oikawa, that was the first thing that he went to go do. He first went overseas, just like Hinata.
Yeah.
So he skipped he kind of skipped the level and said, "Yo, I'm just gonna make it here." I love the fact that he didn't team up with them.
Yeah.
And then his banner from his school is rule the court, bro. It's like, yo,
that's what he did with Argentina. Like, he ruled San Juan when he was playing with the club teams. He's doing it now in Argentina. If he was to try to implement that with the Japan national team, it would have been tough. Which is great, because it would go against everything too with the banner. Because like the banners, I think too, are great in terms of the concepts and themes of the series, because each thing has their own representation for each player, each team, their fundamentals, how they think, and all that. So it would have gone against it if he would have stayed and try and compete with the rest of the guys to get into that squad. So the fact that he kept to it, went outside, went to play for Argentina, awesome, bro. And the fact that he kept the rivalry to Iwazumi, because obviously when he became the trainer for Japan and stuff, that like he was like, yo, I still got all these monsters trying to fight you. And now it's like it evolves from, he went from facing Kageyama to Hinata to now he's facing an entire team. And the fact that he can possibly hold it down against those guys at the very least is a scary thing, man.
What I loved about the Oikawa, like them going in the game. Like, Oikawa greeted everybody, or he ignored everybody except Shoyo.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yo, what's up, boy? Yeah. Like, I see you.
And then they had the buy me a beer bros while they were watching. I was dead.
Yeah, and then they were like literally we have to commend Furudate on that, right?
Yeah.
Every single plot point got a conclusion, got closure. You know what everybody is doing. The jobs were so diverse. It felt like everybody had something to do. And what I appreciated it the most was that even characters that didn't necessarily have to stop playing volleyball and went to go do something else. And that showed that, like, yeah, just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you don't have to, or that you can't move on from it after you're done. And that kind of speaks as to where Haikyu was. Everybody wanted it to continue on. Everybody wanted it to keep going. And for sure, it definitely could have kept going.
Absolutely.
But if it kept going, would that have suffered? Would it have suffered in quality?
Yeah.
Because this is around the time, like, the 400, 500 chapter mark is kind of where things get into murky waters, where things start getting, kind of muddy. So it's like, yeah, I understand people wanted it to go on, and that's cool. But for it to end right here, and not only for it to end right here, but for Furudate to get the ending that he wanted and not jump saying, yo, hurry up and end this shit.
Yeah,
we got some new fresh blood trying to get in here.
Yeah, he handled it on his own terms. Like, he didn't let anything get behind him, and this was the plan, I think, the whole time for him. Like how he wanted this whole end game to go out and stuff. I don't think this was anything on jump. Like, this is what he'd been wanting to do for a long time. Like, I figured that if we're gonna get the 5 sets at least with the Adlers and the Jackals, I saw this going at least until September, like fall, right before, let's say, the anime comes back, we'll be done, and then we have that transition. But to have this twist where it's like, overwhelmingly the Jackals defeated the Adlers in a 3-1, and even then to get there wasn't even easy, because they put up a fight themselves.
Why I always thought that it wasn't going to go to 5 sets because of Hinata telling Kageyama way back when that he was going to beat him in back-to-back sets.
Yeah,
that's what he took. Like, that's when I knew, when I saw that Hinata was pulling out all the stops. Like, you can ask SK. Like, me and SK would be talking. I told SK, like, before Hinata did the left hand dump. Yeah. I told him, I said, yo, SK, look at this. Like, look at these panels. Hinata's been practicing with his left hand.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, what essentially what I said that the balance, like Hinata's balance, Hinata's just the way that he uses his body, is Hinata's greatest attribute. And then, like, he got that from Takeda Sensei, pretty much teaching him, like, yo, everything that you do, because of the level that you want to go to in volleyball, everything is volleyball. the way that you sleep, the way that you eat, you know, the way that you think, everything is volleyball.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, when Hinata did that, when he did the left hand, I'm like, yo, Hinata can probably spike with his left hand too.
Yeah.
So he's like a Ushijima, but on steroids.
Yeah.
And then like people want to talk about the Hoshiumi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about Hinata's character and what really put like Haikyu in the GOAT status for me was, I believe it's chapter 340.
Yeah.
After Hinata meets the little giant. Then in the middle of the match, he's like, yo, or before the match starts, yo, Kageyama, I'm not disappointed at all.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that I wanted to be like all of these other dudes, but I know what my greatest strength is.
Mm-hmm. You know,
and that just that took him to another like level as a character to me, because he understood like what he was trying to get to, and he identified that he doesn't have to be exactly like that to be a force on the volleyball court.
Yeah. You know, and even just like taking the names and stuff too, because you know how it's like, you know, people had thought, you know, he should have gone for the title of Little Giant, but that never was what he wanted whatsoever. He wanted just to up his own game, to become a better player and stuff. And titles are something that you don't claim for yourself; you were given to by people. But if he had a name that he wanted to be referred to as, was the greatest decoy. So to see that now is where people are referring to him. Like when he said to Hoshiumi, he's like, "Here, you can take the title of Little Giant. You can have that because I got something that means something more to me, and that's part of who he is and everything." So. But yeah, I just love that whole relationship too, man. Like with him and Hoshiumi, and the fact that like, you know, him saying like, you know, we're gonna meet again one day, even though you're out of this game right now, we'll see you again one day. And the fact that he came up for that round 2 challenge in the middle of the set for the Adlers and Jackals, and was able to hold his own ground and stuff too. It's just like, man, like you just even see the expressions of Hoshiumi, just like, Jesus Christ, this guy really leveled up. When he
he really admitted that Hinata was better than him at the end of the match, which that's what I'm saying. Like Furudate literally every plot point he wrapped it up.
Yeah,
there's nothing that you can say, oh dang, I wonder about this, or oh, I wonder about this. No, literally he answered all of our questions.
Yeah,
he resolved things. He expanded on things that we once saw, like Ushijima's dad. Like Bokuto being a streaky hitter.
Kageyama's flashback, which we didn't even think we needed, and then we got it, and it just cemented him as one of the best all time.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Kageyama's character like evolved tenfold. What I loved the most about Kageyama's like flashback was before, when we got the chapter King of the Court 2.
Yeah.
And Kageyama was literally thinking, like my favorite Kageyama moment is when he tells Suguru, but I wanted this team to go further.
Yeah,
but I wanted to take this team further. Like,
yo, done it.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That shit was fire, bro. Because like to see where Kageyama came from, just in that, like at the end of the Kamo Medai match, from where he came at the beginning when he first met Hinata, and like. Yo, he literally started giving every teammate every pass the passes that they wanted, and he perfected it. You had the moment when he brought the best out of Tanaka. You had the moment when he brought the best out of Asahi. You have him doing that for Suki remember when everybody was like, "Yo, even Suki flew."
Yeah.
Then of course he's doing it for. Of course, he did it for Hinata, but Hinata had to do his own stuff to get Kageyama to get him like that.
Exactly.
So it's just beautiful to see like how these characters changed and developed, and just like the character interactions too are just on another level.
Absolutely. That's the stuff I love too, man, because, man, those things is what cement the relationships, the goals, the aspirations, all these things with these characters. Like with Kageyama, like you mentioned right now, with the whole thing with the team, like if you go back to where he was when he was the king of the courts, like the true like god, right? and how like he separated everybody that was around him from Kenichi, Kunumi, and everything, and nobody wanted to be around him. And you saw that being emphasized even more. It's like the flashback and stuff, and even the prior encounters with Oikawa and everything. To see now that literally people can look at him as like as the guy that can help us get to the next level, but not out of arrogance, out of the fact that he was able to get them because he built those bonds together by training with them, connecting with them, the interactions and everything. Like he started opening himself up more in that regard, and then slowly over time, he's the guy. There's their setter. He's their man. So, but I was gonna ask you this because when we're talking at the national team, because obviously this is a very monster generation heavy team. Like there's no real like veterans like a Mayen, Hirugami, and stuff, right? How did you feel about that? Like that's what Furudate wanted to go with the monster generation, and do you feel that is like going with a team that's based on youth? In your mind, is that something that you would use to go for a championship, or would you have a balance where you have youth, you have veterans? Like, do you respect how Furudate kind of went with that route, going with the monster generation?
I mean, I think that he's like modeling it kind of like what the national Japan team is right now.
That's true.
It's like it's a bunch of young guys. Like, there's not really that many veterans on the Japan team right now. They're really young. Like the Nishida dude, I think he's like what, 19, 20?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
I think the oldest
damn,
guy's like 20,
okay.
29.
Yeah, so like,
too, so.
I think Furudate aimed, or he or she aimed to model that, like the Japan team, because literally, if you watch them play, they'll set the ball like 2 times for their touches, and then somebody will spike it. Like they get down and they're a well balanced team. They're really on the rise. Their serving is disgusting. Their blocking's good, and then like you got Nishida. I think his like highest spike point is like, I think it's like a little bit over 3 meters.
Yeah.
So 11 foot 5 inches. That's what it is.
That's mad.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
and he's 20 years old.
Yeah. So it's just like I definitely do agree with the whole thing. It's like with the monster generation, it's perfectly fine as is and stuff. I did think that there was a chance we would have like, at least 2 veterans, maybe, so it's not half and half and everything. But were you surprised that Kiryu didn't make the national team and that Aran Ojiro did? Because I felt that like Aran was literally being compared like how Bokuto was. Like they're outside the top 3, but if they want to play at that level, they could make it there. And then you have someone like Kiryu who was in the top 3 but isn't in the national team. So were you kind of surprised by that, or just like it didn't matter because this is the team that Coach Fuki was going for? He knew the best when he saw them.
Nah, I mean, what I kind of think it is like those like early bloomers in like middle school and high school and stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what Kiryu was, and that's maybe what Ushijima was kind of suffering from, and that's why he had to reinvent himself. So, like all it seemed that Kiryu is like he would go after any ball. He was really strong. He lifted weights and stuff. The emphasis on the weight training.
Yeah, the legs. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think that may have possibly hindered him in the future, because if you lift weights really early on, that kind of stunts your growth. It kind of hinders you.
Yeah.
So, and then like you got, I mean, just if you compare it to the people like Bokuto, I think Bokuto became a top 3 ace during that national tournament.
Yeah. Because
Muzaka,
definitely cemented them.
Bro, Bokuto went crazy.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we learned that Bokuto actually made it to the final match of the Inter High.
Yeah.
And then, then what I loved about the Bokuto point, right, was that he literally evolved into what he wanted to be, the number 1 ace, to the point to where he was even challenging Ushijima in this match that we had just now. The Black Jackals and the Adlers.
Yeah.
And he scored the last point. I would say that he got just as much points as Hinata.
Yeah, I think he got the most. I think in that game, I could be wrong, but it's like if you do like the MVP, the top scorer, I think he was the most, like 12 or something. Like he got majority of them. But yeah.
So it's like he got second in the Inter High, and I love the dynamic with his teammates, with like how they tried to blame themselves, and then he's like, nah, like that's on me, y'all, like and then they're like, man, we wouldn't even be able to get this view on this court if it wasn't for you. I love that. And just the fact that Mia comes around, and then like you used Mia as as aggressive as a setter that he is. He's the perfect person to get Bokuto out of that streaky hitting phase. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he's gonna put up the ball no matter what. He doesn't care.
Yeah, bro. It's just like, man, with Bokuto, bro, like that. Anyone that doesn't like that character, man, it's just like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, just his development as a character in general, because it's like, we talk about the streaky character that he was and stuff, where he have days where he's on his game and then he's playing really bad and stuff. But now it's like the fact that you eliminate the element of him having those streaks gone, and he's just a natural player in the way that he is. Like, again, to me, Sokka's is my favorite ace, but I think if anyone tells me Bokuto is the top one, I have no complaints with it, because games like this right now, we're seeing the Adlers and the Jackals, and then pulling off the stuff that we're seeing. Like the one, I forgot the dude's name, but the one where he did like that crazy spike and stuff with the back of his hands and stuff when he did the turn. Like, you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, bro.
That was Bokuto, wasn't it?
That was Bokuto that did that. Like when he did that, bro, and then the fact that it was a dink. Bruh.
Those Bokuto dinks be hitting different, bro. The Bokuto dink hit different.
Going crazy.
That boy goes crazy with the dinks.
Yeah, it's just like, bro,
he goes like
that.
Wait,
like, bro, when he did the one to Muji Nozaka, dog. That one was disgusting. Like I think it was the one where he did the back attack, bro.
Oh, the back attack was nasty.
Like he did the back attack, and it looked like he was about to spike it. I think he did spike it.
Yeah,
I think he did. So I'm thinking about whenever they were, remember when he went on that serving streak, when he got the whole crowd was cheering for him, and then they were backing up, and then they did the Sakoi, and then boom, dink, bruh. It was like whatever Kageyama did that shit to Inarizaki.
Yeah, like
Kageyama went God mode in that match, bro. I cannot wait to see that shit animated, bro.
I hope
IG
does it well.
Yo,
I hope
I still get chills thinking about that shit. Like, oh my
like
God.
the best,
bro. Hinata went crazy in that match, but I think like you definitely have to give Kageyama the MVP for that match, bro. Because
it's tough. It's tough, bro. It's either him or Hinata for me, man. It's
I mean, look, Hinata had
more growth.
Hinata had the clutch receives, and Hinata had the what was it? The slow it down, like bro, that slow it down shit, bro. I cannot wait till that is animated, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my
I can't wait till it's animated, because I know that the music is probably gonna stop in that moment.
Exactly.
Whenever Hinata says, let's take it easy. Like, yo, and then we're not even going to hear Hinata say it. We're going to hear all the people that were at the camp say it. Yeah. I can already see it happening, bro. Like, while they're watching it, and then how everybody was shocked whenever that happened. And what I loved the most about that moment was when Daichi, he looked over at Hinata, and then he was like, yo, Hinata, what the fuck did you do at that training camp?
Yeah. And what my boy did was watch. That's the scariest thing of all. The fact that he took the time to sit back and look at everything that's going on during that camp and take the things from it to improve his own player as himself, his own skill traits and all that. Like the whole thing with the receive, which is why I love 281 so much. It's like for him to pull something like that off, to us, it's like a normal thing. You make it, whatever. But for him, who like receiving wasn't one of his best like things in volleyball. So the fact that he was able to watch these things, learn from it, and use that in a game against the runners up. This isn't some random team. This is the team that could have won nationals if it.
And then and then not only that, Laz, but whose spike he received.
Yeah, like with Iran.
Like he received Iran's, bro, like the most powerful spiker on that team. Yeah. And yo, like man, when Kageyama yelled out "nice receive," and he was like, bro, what I liked about that too is like you get the monologue.
Yeah.
with these characters, and like you get to know what they're thinking during the match. And Kageyama's just like, to think that the day would arrive when I would tell you nice receive.
Yeah.
Yo, that was fire, because like what makes it even better is like now, bro, Hinata is a defensive specialist, bro. He's pretty much Hinata fused with Nishinoya.
Yeah.
Like literally, bro. He is, I feel like he's a better receiver than Nishinoya. Because and what gave me clarity on that was just Tanaka and how he remembered back when like Nishinoya was talking to Hinata, and I think that was like back that might have been like with their second, like Hinata's second year.
Yeah.
Because think about the thing, like Hinata had not only 1 year to learn from Nishinoya, he had 2.
Yeah. You know, year 1 and 2, but it's like now he honestly, bro, there's one thing I would love to see from Hinata is inherit the Rolling Thunder. Like if he did that, because that would be like pretty much, I'm taking your will and I'll keep it going, man. Because if he did that during that game against the Adlers, bro, I would have lost my mind. But the fact that
would have been
those
crazy
moments where he was remembering all those things, it's like, you know, the Nishinoya on the back and stuff, he's still making the receives and everything. Like he basically took the man's will, but again, the improvements and stuff from Brazil, the ball boy arc and everything, but. Man, it's just, and Noya too, bro. Like, even though I know obviously he did his own thing and stuff, but we can't forget Inarizaki, Guardian Deity, the stuff with him and Kinoshita.
Oh
God,
yeah, bro,
man.
that was fire.
With
like I cannot wait to see that animated, bro. With it, with his Gramps like pretty much telling him if he's scared of something. It was all about like Nishinoya not being or being.
Like there's opportunities
fearless
out there in life and stuff, and you're not supposed to just like, you know, if you're scared to take chances, then like you're not really living life, and that also plays a massive role into Noya like going out
and his character
in the world and stuff. Yeah, so like I think that chapter really is what began him saying, you know what, there is life after volleyball and stuff. So it's not for every character. It's like, yo, just you're playing. It doesn't have to be like this is what you're doing for the rest of your life. There's other things you can do, and Noya I think is the first real embodiment of that whole thing that Furudate went with after. So like. Man.
Noya and Mia's brother.
And Osamu,
yeah.
Onigiri Mia and stuff, man. Which, man, that thing with him with Shinsuke and stuff, bro. Like,
with the captain, bro.
God.
With the cat, like, and then the fact that they both opened the restaurant together.
Yeah, and he's providing him the rice and stuff while he's working on the farms and stuff, bro.
Bro,
like,
that is so fire, bro. Because it's like, yo, like that's what friends should really like. Like friends should be able to make money together. Friends should be able to like help each other out.
Absolutely.
In those instances.
Yeah.
So like to see, and then you know another thing that I like, right, is, and this was just something that was just introduced, is that the Sendai Frogs were a V-League team, but Division 3, and that they were slowly but surely climbing the ranks. And then when we see them in the last chapter, they're a Division 2 team.
Were they? I think they were Division 2. I think in general. I think for the first time.
Nah, they were Division.
It was 2. It was 2. But
were they?
Yeah, they were 2. Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Because when they showed,
I thought they were 3 at first.
Going to Division 1.
Because they showed when they showed Kogane when he was revealed to be part of the Sendai Frogs, it showed that they were Division 2. Yeah. But apparently, if you've seen, I haven't seen them fully in detail, but apparently there's an interview that was out for like the monster interview for like some of the characters in the thing, right? And they were saying the idea that because there's a promotion demotion level that V-League Divisions 1 through 3 have, that apparently the Sendai Frogs could see themselves in the next division after. So it shows that that team of Kogane, Kyotani, Tsukishima, all of them are about to elevate to that next tier. And
they'll get to V-League 1.
Yeah, then this can be scary, bro, because if he's getting on that level, then let's say like the future national teams afterwards, like Suki could end up making that team because now he's playing competitively in the first division and has a higher chance of getting into it after. You know, so
I mean that's what he alluded to. He said, "Whenever I see them on that stage, it makes me want to work harder."
Yo, I just read a comment right now, just blew my freaking mind. Enki just said Asumu's jersey number in the Olympics was 11. That's Osamu's number.
Oh, Osamu's high school number.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
Yeah, I seen that.
Little things.
Yeah, that was fire.
Little things. That's crazy. Like we were talking about the Shinsuke thing too.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Also,
Neo, what's good, bro?
Hinata... Huh? Sorry?
No, I was saying, Neo, what's good?
Oh, do you guys think that Hinata would technically classify as a genius or a prodigy because his growth is unnatural? I mean,
Yeah.
Kageyama has been practicing since day one. He did I'm not gonna lie, he kind of did start in high school. Let's be real, because he did.
Yeah, like he got his true licks and stuff. Yeah, by then. So yeah,
I mean, yeah, it was pretty much highlighted that Hinata was a monster. I mean, like go all the way back to the Ball Boy arc whenever Tendo was talking to Ushijima and he referred to Hinata and Kageyama as the monster twins.
Yeah.
And then Ushijima's like, "What are you talking about?" And then Tendo says, "Oh, of course you wouldn't know who I'm talking about because you're a monster yourself."
Yeah, like I think obviously one of the best prodigies, like in terms of like molding a prodigy. That's kind of what I would say. That's Hinata. Like Genius is tough because it's like he would have some things about volleyball already to improve on. Like the jump, I wouldn't say is enough for it, but a prodigy in the making, kind of like Hyakuzawa. It's like he had the hype but didn't have the skill set. Hinata had the jump but didn't have the skill set. So it's almost like a raw prodigy to becoming what he ended up being afterwards. So
I mean, but Hinata always had like raw, like fast reflexes. He was a stamina, a stamina monster. He would go on practice. Yeah. He was naturally athletic. That's what they always highlighted. Like Hinata was disgustingly athletic. So the thing is that like, yes, Hinata is a prodigy in the same way that Oikawa is a prodigy. They worked so hard and they refined their instincts in high school that their talent really bloomed whenever they got older and whenever they grew into their they grew into their bodies, I want to say, because I mean Hinata's definitely like he's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
He didn't start lifting weights until
after the fact, like when he was done.
Yeah, until after the fact, like when he hooked up with Washijo Sensei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I would say that I would say that Hinata I wouldn't say he's a prodigy. I would just say that he's just like a physically gifted freak.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could say that that's a prodigy, but
it's like a diamond in the rough almost, is to say. It's like there's the quality that's there. It just needs some fine tuning with it. But it's weird. I can't. Yeah, for a project, it's tough to say too. Yeah.
That's another thing that that we don't highlight enough was that Hinata literally was biking over a mountain
for half an hour
every day to get to school and to go home after volleyball practice.
Like the leg strength he had too to equip with the speed that he had as well. Like it was like. I mean, those are definitely little things too you have to take into account because he was biking every single morning, half an hour a day over a mountain, dog. Like,
and then like the slice of life moments that we also have. Like, how many times did Hinata go home and do that receiving drill that he showed his little sister?
Like every day, like because he was
like,
about it. He wanted to grow.
Exactly, and then the way that he did it too, and how it's always highlighted. Remember whenever like Hinata, I remember during the Inarizaki match, Kageyama missed the toss, like because he was tired or something, I believe. And then Hinata, he's going up for the spike. He lands on his right leg and he leans to the right, pops his leg up, and kicks the ball. And then they score.
Mm-hmm.
And then the announcers, they were like, how much time does Hinata Shoyo spend with the ball to be able to have reflexes to react like that to it? And then Kageyama like grabs him forward and he's like, nice cover.
Yeah. It's like you go
and
back
then
to
that's
moments,
when I'm
saying you go back to those moments and stuff and you realize why is he doing that? Because he's done those things from before. We've seen little bits and stuff here and there from it.
Right, where he always does stuff like that. And then that's when that moment with the Mia twins came up where they started talking about how Hinata plays is like a bowl of rice.
Yeah.
And then that's when when Mia called Hinata crazy. Yeah. And he was like, yo, I don't know how I would deal with the with somebody that's as demanding as that guy. Because that's when he went up for that toss and Kageyama was like, I'll never let him beat me. I'll never let him outdo me. And then he just did that amazing set.
Yeah, it's just the hunger and drive, like, the whole, the race concept, because he's always wanted to learn, improve, and get better. And the fact that when you saw something like that, they knew, like, this is not the end cap for him. Like, the ceiling is so much farther up that if the chance of him getting better and better over time is real. So like they knew they had one more year to face up against them, which of course they overcame and beat them. But it's like they have to be careful because this guy could be scarier than what he is right now in a year's time, and then of course what we see after in the Jackals and Adlers and stuff. So yeah, man. I mean, just that whole little thing. It's like it's the little things that Furudate puts into the series for each character, whether it's be through the talks or it be through like seeing on the sides and stuff of what they're doing that sometimes gets overlooked. That we see them in the big moments. It's like, yeah, they're like they've been presented to us. That's why these things make sense, and that they are on that level that we know they are. So,
and you know what always what showed me that the two best characters ending the series were Oikawa and Hinata was the fact that in this last match that we saw on the world stage, the only two characters that we saw the announcements and that were highlighted were Hinata and Oikawa.
That's true.
First they highlighted Oikawa, and then they highlighted Hinata and how important he was, and the fact that he pretty much made a name for himself in Brazil, went back to Japan, and then they had no choice but to come recruit him.
Exactly. You know, just the path of how he got there too, because it's like, again, we were talking about this earlier. Like some guys like Kageyama and them are gonna try and make their way through like, you know, like college and, you know, through like actual tryouts and actually go there. But for Hinata, again, because he lacked the one thing that people, and then again, the height thing really doesn't matter because now he's on the main team and stuff. But for him to get there and get that recognition from like Coach Fuki and all that, he has to do something that was a complete detour and outside of what most guys would do to get to the next level, and that's going overseas. And that was a huge gamble because we were talking about how, like, you know, there was at one point in time where he was depressed when things were looking bad for him, and he immediately said, look, I could be depressed right now and give it all up and abort the mission, or I could just get on my bike, keep on going, and not lose faith. And to have that where he kept on going, enhance all of his abilities, his techniques, his traits during the whole time that he was there in Brazil, to come back and now be on the same level. Like, Nicholas Romero was said to be a world-class ace among the absolute best. And the fact that, based on the statistics and stuff, that Hinata is on that tier by points or whatever it is a testament to, you know, if you work hard and you put the time in to become better, I don't care. You can be in Japan, the homeland, whatever it is, to get better, but there are other opportunities out there to get you to the place you want to get to. Sometimes you got to go under a few ropes, under a couple bridges to get there, but it may not be the same path, but the end goal, it'll always be there. So,
right.
Yeah, just, man, that's what I love about that arc, bro. Like, anyone doesn't like Brazil arc, Ball Boy, like they don't appreciate Hinata. Like, those are things that just really make him the MC. Like, it's so tough. Oh, you're saying?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, because with the MCs, it's like usually you, like, most people, they would love the side character or like maybe the second protagonist, like the Deuteragonist and stuff, more than the MC. But this is one of those where it's like, that's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? That is like the top guy. Like, you know. But you were saying though, Matt?
Nah, I was just gonna say I saw like an exchange that Mr. Fraud D Legend got into on Twitter last night.
Oh, what was that? What was that?
Pretty much somebody not understanding Kage or Hinata's character. Oh, yeah. Like Jay said that that Haikyu ended like 10 out of 10, and then said person cap on this app.
Yeah,
and then it's like what you know what really what I don't like about sports series is that they get a bad rap because people just say, oh, it's just a sport.
Yeah, and it's just so much more than that because you can relate to these things. It's so like easy to understand why people have these feelings and like, you know, they're going down these paths and stuff, because even if we're not in the sport itself, we've been in those positions before. So it's understandable because there's a connection to that. You know, if Hinata, it's like the whole little giant thing. He never wanted that title. You know, that was the comparisons people were making because they saw like him, like Tenma and him when they're watching play. But titles and stuff was something that he wasn't going after. It's something that you're given, not you claim yourself to be.
Right. It's not something that you say that you are that
yeah.
you like.
You're not gonna call yourself king of the court.
People
That's something that
you.
the streets will call you, right? So for him to say, you know, if there's a nickname I wanted was the greatest decoy, that's like him not boasting about it and being like, you know, arrogant of it. It's just like, it'd be cool to be named as. And then over time, that's what people now refer to him as. Like the streets know him as the greatest decoy. So
Right.
I didn't get that too.
Or Ninja Shoyo.
Or Ninja Shoyo,
Yeah.
even better. Ninja
Everyone
Shoyo the goats. But
Yeah.
but I do think that some people were thinking it's stupid why he didn't become a little giant, but it's that wasn't what he was going after. And if you think that was the case, you weren't reading the series properly in the first case.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
So
It's been set up with the decoy since the beginning.
the series,
literally,
and that's what they keep it want to be.
if you, there's so many instances that you can refer back to. Like one that speaks volumes to me was Tanaka.
Yeah.
Whenever Tanaka had he was doing an attack on the on the left side, and he had a free shot.
Yeah.
And once again, what I love about sports series is we get what the characters are thinking about. So he's like, I'm facing against the best blocking team in the nation, and I have a completely free shot over the net. And that's all akin to Hinata.
Yeah. Because he is the decoy. He even the little things like that, man, we don't come to appreciate, because he can literally pull an entire team to look left, and then the right lane's open. And it's just that's how scary it is, because if that ball goes to Hinata, he's doing damage to anybody right there. But to pull that and leave the other monsters like Asahi, Tanaka, even Daichi, even Suki towards the ends of year 1 and stuff, seeing the stuff he was doing, it's just that's a talent you gotta be so wary of, man. Because if Hinata's on the court, anything's possible. You are gonna give up points regardless. If it's
literally anything. He can bump, he can set, he can dump. Yeah. He can hit with his left hand. He can hit with his right.
He can do jump floaters.
He can dink. He can jump super fucking high. Yes. That dude literally can do anything.
He's an all-rounder.
On the court.
Yeah, he's the perfect definition of all-around.
That's what he wanted to do during time skip too, because of Oshiumi, and he got it.
Yeah, he literally said, "I need to go get great at everything."
Yeah, and start from zero. You don't go and start from where you are, absolutely back to the bottom to zero. And that's why with beach volleyball is so important, because it's not a whole team; it's 2 people. You have to get that fundamental first before you get back into the fix of the main teams and stuff. So, yeah, man, and it's awesome too when you see stuff we remember at the beginning of the series, he didn't like the name of the decoy, how people were referring to him and stuff. He's it doesn't sound cool. But then to see that turn around and he's accepting of it, man, that is something.
It hits, bro.
But
yeah, but I mean, he even though he accepts it, he still says, even though I'll never refer to myself I'll never think of myself as a decoy.
Yeah.
I can still be the greatest decoy though. He can be and the thing now is that him being a decoy is not limited to just offense. It's defense too.
Yeah, exactly. He was doing feints.
He's a decoy
he
for
was
himself.
playing a decoy for himself. Yeah, that was gonna mention too though, SK, because that was wild. It's when they realized it's he was faking for himself to get
right. He's and just faking out these world-class players, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. The fact that he had Romero look the other way.
Oh.
I was bro, if you're doing this, man, you are one of the GOATs in the world. I don't care. And then it still blows my mind, because the whole numbers of the kits and stuff, which usually signify where you are in the team. The fact that he's still the number 21 and Kageyama's a 20 for Sao Paulo and the Roma team, right? Which means that they are not even the best players on that team by technicality, if you go by the number thing, which is insane, because they develop so much, and yet the world is still so massive that there are other monsters out there that just don't compare. And it just shows the realism, because it's they didn't become number 1 and 2. They're probably in the 20s or 30s. They're still making their way to get there. But as of right now, there's still fishes that were in the big ponds, or little ponds, but now going into the big ocean to fight the other sharks and everything.
Well, no, but they're in the world championship right now, so they've definitely got to the highest level.
Oh yeah, definitely. The kit, the kit numbers might be something else. Maybe in that game they kind of prove themselves, they are there, and the kit thing can maybe not be nothing, but it's an observation thing I noticed from there. But yeah, they're definitely in the higher echelon of the series.
100%.
They're in their prime years, 26, 20, 25, 26 early. So yeah, man, just.
I'm just so
they're on they're on another level now. Even then, when we saw them play.
Absolutely. And the fact that now we're going to see him compete again, and how they're going to provide for their teams and stuff. He's not an all-around game. Kageyama on offense, his setting, his serves.
I'm not going to lie, man. I would love to see Hinata and Kageyama. I would love to see the Argentina match.
I would too.
Them versus Oikawa, because just want to see, bro, what I would just want to see is like Hinata, or not even that, right? Show us Hinata, Kageyama, Yamaguchi, and Tsukishima in the third year. Just show us one us one match from that. Because I know Hinata was still probably good at bumping, so on and so forth. Like, bro, I just want to see Hinata bump the ball and Kageyama run and do a set and Hinata spike it. I would just want to see how many times they could do that. Yeah. Or like their attacks, if Kageyama, like imagine if Kageyama's serving and Hinata's in the front row.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, that shit would be disgusting. Yeah. Like, and if Kageyama goes on a nasty serve streak.
Yeah. Like he does like in Ishida, going like 6 aces on Canada or something like that.
And you got Hinata there to like, because, bro, you know, even if they receive those serves are coming straight back over.
Exactly.
And not just jumping up and smacking it before it even get, bruh. Oh, my goodness, bruh. Yeah. You got Hinata, Hoshiyumi, Ushijima, and Bokuto. Oh.
Too much power on one team.
Yeah. That's a wild team.
I still can't believe when they showed the Jackals the first time, I'm like, okay, Bokuto, Atsumu, but then when they showed Sakaza, I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that
blew my mind because when I read that chapter initially, by that point,
and then the thing,
my brain starts going there after that point. Like,
bro, you know what makes it even better for me, right? It's like, you know how I said the actual Japan national team, though their first set or their first touches will be sets.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine Hinata setting the ball to Ushijima.
Yeah.
Imagine imagine Kageyama and Hinata doing the minus tempo quick attack, but reverse.
Oh man.
And you know that they probably did that shit to Oikawa.
They probably like
if Mia and Atsumu can do it in like one match where they're just practicing, there's no way that Kageyama and Hinata wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine that matchup though in Argentina? Like every little thing that we see in the series, every player or something like was just put into that matchup, and Oikawa was doing everything he can to stop it and manages to pull off most of them with his teammates because he's bringing everything together. Like that's a game I can see being like, you know how like the highest scores can go like in the 30s or something. That's a game that can go in the 40s because there's no way you can just win it as soon as it gets to 25. Like that's gonna keep on going for like a while. Like the fatigue
for sure
would be really there. But man, Matt, I was gonna ask you in regards to like, so favorite characters or like your favorite match or something, like because I don't know if you plan on making a video afterwards, so if you want to reserve it, that's fine with me. But like if there's like one character to you that like you saw him, like that's your GOAT, they remained as the GOAT till the end, who is that?
Hinata and Bokuto.
Yeah.
Easily my two favorite characters in the series. Mm-hmm. I'd say my top 5 characters are probably Hinata, Bokuto, Kageyama, Washijo.
Yeah.
And I really, really like Ushijima after like his character arc is done.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Was that
like
Tendo, yeah, like
like bro, just seeing how Tendo kind of like got Ushijima out of his shell gradually, and Ushijima's still awkward, but he's not as awkward as he used to be.
Thanks for protecting my gift.
But Oikawa too, like I can't say this without putting Oikawa in there.
Yeah,
like Oikawa's definitely like. Bro, his character is so fucking good. I can't believe how good his fucking character is, honestly.
Yeah, like our last antagonist and everything he's done to like develop these guys, you know, as the opposition. You know, sometimes it's not just the teammate that makes you better, it's your opponents that make you better. And there was no one I think that did it better than him. You know, Ushijima can make the conversation for that. Hoshiyumi definitely because of what led to afterwards, but again, Oikawa's gold standard for everything. You know, so Like it's tough, bro, because when you're trying to rank these characters, like you love every single one of them, but when it comes to the placements, it's not easy whatsoever. Like even making a top 3 is like you have the 1, 2, but then after that, it's like I don't know, it depends on the day, right? So, but yeah, man, just
My 3 switch around all the time.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we ever decide to do like the top 30 Haikyuu characters and stuff, like for us or whatever, like, you know, just almost like how we do with like One Piece, but like instead it'll be just like off our favorites who we love and everything, or like fantasy drafts, which I think I would love to do on the channel. Just like if we have to make like our own team based on every player that's been showcased, just to see what kind of team someone can assemble. Like, oh man, that would be something. But
I like, bro. Just one more thing.
Yeah.
Like I know you want to end it last, but the fact that Oikawa stayed an antagonist for the entire series
didn't
is
switch up,
like,
yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't change up at all.
Yeah. Yeah, he remained as is, bro, because it's like he could have like some people have thought that maybe there's a chance he'll just pair up with Hinata. Even then with the whole him helping him out in Brazil and stuff, he still viewed him as like a threat. So like to being at the top and everything. So yeah,
he told him he said he's gonna beat everybody and he's included.
Yeah, exactly. Like that stage that he's been trying to get to, that hasn't changed. And when I get there, I'm gonna beat all of you. Like, and he kept his word at least, bro. Because now we were Argentina and stuff, and you know, I wonder like how it's gonna be after, like if he's still playing, like, you know, in Sao Paulo, Sao Paulo, the team San Juan, where he's playing in Argentina and stuff. Like, just I love to see like what's like it's almost like what Food Wars did, where they show like years after what the characters are doing. I would love to see something like that after Haikyu, like saying like, you know, what some of the top players are doing, if some of them are retired, if they're doing their own thing afterwards, like if they made it to like all their pro teams or if they stayed in Japan. I would love to see something like that down the road. But yeah, Furudate, man, there's a question that was asked earlier in the chat. I just remember right now, but in terms of like your favorite authors that you've seen, doesn't matter if he's Shonen Jump or whatever manga, where does Furudate rank for you among like your favorites? Because he's top 2 to me, and the only way he'll not take number 2 is depending on how Oda takes care of the end game of One Piece. But right now, top 2, like 402 straight chapters, bro. It never once missed a beat. Like I don't know, man. Like
he's either, because I got a Rocky at 1 for me.
Yeah,
I think 2 would probably be Miura, and then Oda and like Furudate. I'd say Furudate right now is over Oda because Oda fumbled a bit with some things.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think he's top 3 for me. I think he's number 3.
Yeah, it's tough because of the body of work, you know what I mean? Because it's like you compare some other mangakas and stuff that they put out and everything, but sometimes that one series that they put out, like an Ashita show, can be easily top 3. So I think he needs one more series to cement himself as like one of the all-time greats. He's already is with one story, but I think he's capable of pulling off one more story that could be on the tier of how good Haikyu was. But yeah,
as I said, yeah, with his character rating, he could definitely do it, 100%.
Definitely. I think, to be honest with you, I feel like he might go down the horror route for his next genre. Because if you remember, before Haikyu, he was doing like a one-shot based on like a horror series and stuff. So I do think that's something he might try and go down that path again. Because now he has all the stuff taken down from like writing and everything from Haikyu. He might try and do that again. He could surprise us if he writes a battle shonen with the way his paneling is.
Oh man.
Oh my god, bro. The fights and everything would be actually crazy, but just the fact of the words, the development, the characters, dialogue, to add that in there would be goats. But
it's amazing.
Definitely.
The connections, the callbacks,
everything, man. Just
literally everything ties together. I need to get all these volumes.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's tough, man.
Same.
I'm buying like the rest of the volumes in Japanese.
The volumes aren't even gonna be like the rest of them. 45 doesn't come out until like next year, bro.
At
It's
least, yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 13 of them right now, but yeah, I got to get them all.
I have like everything up to 38. I know 39 just dropped, so I'm getting that soon. But I have 40. I have 20, 33, and 43 in the Japanese volumes. But I'm getting the last 2 in Japanese because like that's history. I don't own that.
I mean, we
stuff.
can assume what the last cover is gonna be. So
okay, the last cover is got. You know, would be a great homage.
The last cover is
Hinata
probably gonna
Kageyama.
be, what's it called? Hinata Kageyama Fist Bump.
yeah, I feel like it's just gonna be those 2. It could be like a callback to the first volume cover as well, but
yeah, or like a back to back kind of thing. That'll be so dope too. But I think the fist bump, because that's to me like when you read Slam Dunk, you know that moment with Rukawa and Sakuragi, like that is what that fist bump meant to me. and that's same thing. But like, I would love that though too for the final cover the volumes, like, because the current one they put out for 44 that has the Jackals looks so go too. Like,
Oh, it looks so good.
I'm waiting on volume 40, 41, 40, like, and then 42 doesn't come out until January.
Yeah.
So like I have all the way up until 39.
Mm-hmm.
I just like I need these last volumes, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna reread the Kamo Meta match until I get all the volumes for it.
Yeah.
I think it's like from 39 to 42.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it in Rizaki in volume 4, man. It's gonna be so different.
I mean, I reread it before, bro, and it's goats. The Nekama match, rereading that was goats.
Oh my god. Even like the what's it called? Why can't I think of the name of Ushijima's team? What am I?
Shiratori's
Why couldn't I think of that? Yeah. And once I get those volumes, I'm gonna read it too.
Yeah.
I was literally just watching parts of that match. I don't know how I didn't remember the name. But
yeah. Like the team, the Tendo, and then afterwards just Ushijima. Just like those covers are go crazy. I feel like once it got into the 20s, the covers really start to like really go all out.
I need some of those Suki covers.
The Moon's Halo one too. I think that was
volume
11.
Yeah, the Moon one I'm getting in the mail soon.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that one.
Man, I really hope that the sales start to spike up when the anime comes back, so like it gets more appreciation. Like, because as a story, we know it's greatness and everything, but like, you know how like the casuals are. If it doesn't sell amazingly, it's not goats, which is stupid.
Yeah,
bro. Listen, there's several moments from the Inarizaki match that are gonna go viral.
I hope
100%.
I
feel like every episode is gonna be
like,
something.
There's gonna be so many moments, bro.
Like there's the so there was already the serve.
Yeah.
Like Mia's first serve.
Hinata's received,
there's the middle blocker
yeah.
on a Narazaki.
Suna.
I think his name was like Rentaro or something like that.
Yeah, Rentaro
Suna.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, him.
Tsukishima, yeah.
When him and Tsukishima, that's gonna go crazy. The guardian deity with Kinoshita and Nishinoya.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that I feel like is gonna just go crazy is Tanaka's hits.
Yeah.
Oh, the cross. Yeah, the
cross. The Uber cut shot and then the line shot.
Yeah, like the line, man.
Like the fact that he had two, and then obviously the moment that is just gonna like that's probably gonna go really crazy is the Hinata receive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just the last rally too, bro, with the block with him, like, because that's my one that before that double spread where we got the fist bump, the block with him and Kageyama on Atsumu no Samu was my favorite spread in the entire series. Just because of what it cemented for them, man. Like,
when I turned the page to that.
Oh yeah, when they both like jumped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And then Kageyama tried to say that he blocked that. That was all Hinata.
Bro, the anime only fandom is gonna go wild when the Black Jackals and Adlers teams like start going at it in the anime. My timeline is gonna be like,
oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be nuts regardless for the Inarizaki stuff. That Kama I expect is gonna be like it's gonna hurt everyone.
That Kama is gonna hit.
Oh, and then nigga Asahi too.
Yeah.
I'm tripping, bro. The clench fist, bro.
Yeah.
When that happens, that's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
The Hinata stuff's gonna break me in the 360s though.
Oh yeah.
That's good. In the anime, that's gonna break me even more.
When
than
he
the
drops the
manga
floor, I'm gonna cry, bro. Like
I was so hurt in the manga. Like Matt was there with me when I was reading that shit, bro.
Bro, when they show that panel of Kageyama and Hinata practicing in the gym together.
Oh yeah,
and when like Hinata is up, when Hinata is up over that spike. But the chapter that I can't wait to see animated is the view from the top two. Like, that's my favorite chapter in the series still.
Kamo Meta is gonna hit super hard. Like
whenever Washijo Sensei is talking about Hinata, and then he like he does the fist pump whenever Hinata scores.
Yeah,
dog, that's one of the best moments in Haikyuu, man, because. Like, and I just know that the OST that they're gonna be playing,
animation gonna go crazy too.
And they said, bro, the staff
production IG is gonna actually hit
because they were saying because obviously with the delay of the anime, they're going crazy with this OST. So like, we're gonna be hearing some themes that are gonna be like anthems. You know what I'm saying? Like more than the openings and endings themselves, they're gonna be like actual anthems. Every time we think about this series,
I'm here for it.
I cannot wait, man. But like, there's gonna be just way too many moments after. Like, I can't see IG fumbling with the anime. Like, obviously, my little worries here and there with certain elements that feel like they're missing right now in season 4 with the whole Mika and Suguru thing, unless it's implemented in the second core. But regardless, everything else though, it's gonna be absolutely crazy. Like,
You said with who?
you remember with Mika and Suguru from Nohibe? Because remember how when they show at the beginning of the arc, or the beginning of the Inarizaki matchup, how it shows them going into the stadium and like they're sitting down and talking about like the sport and stuff, right? Because it's a theme that's been shown in the arc where Mika is basically us, the readers who don't know the advanced terminologies of volleyball. And she's learning these things here and there throughout like the course of the arc and stuff. So that's something I noticed that she wasn't really showing him and Suguru, or her and Suguru, like in that little moment. So unless they shown that in the beginning of the second core, where we're going to see like the thought process of like, so the viewer understands more of what's going on than just seeing the match playing out. You know, like when we're reading it, we know what's going on because Furudate is going like step by step. Where I feel like the anime, they'll probably focus more on the action bits more than like actually talking about how they got to there and all that stuff. So, but
I think bro, I'm not gonna lie, man. This adaptation, like this anime adaptation, is probably the best anime adaptation that I've seen for a series since like Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
because it like bro, the Suki moment from season 3 is literally just like it happened in the manga.
Yeah,
and plenty of other moments like that I can name, go on and on and on. I think because because the manga is over now,
yeah,
that the anime studio is gonna do even more.
Yeah,
because they can just go all out.
Definitely. Like I know the last like 12 episodes for sure is gonna be the rest of the Inarizaki match, like the whole entirety of it, and then season 5 will probably be like, I would say if they play smart, do it for Nekoma, season 6 maybe for Kawamadai, and then the last season being like 7 for like everything from like Brazil to the end. I wouldn't be mad if they did that, like, because that would be like the last traditional 25 episodes like straight, you know.
I think that they'll end like this season. I say that they'll probably end it like on the Inarizaki match, like whenever Nakoma is like, okay, well, we know who we're facing now.
Yeah.
They'll probably end it there, and then I think the next season we'll have the Nakoma and Kamamedai matches, and then that Bokuto match in the middle.
It'll end with probably time skip.
Yeah, probably end with the time skip for season 5.
Bro, can you imagine people have to wait a year to see like the end result of that after? And like, yeah, you could have seen this if you read the manga, but
yeah, you could have been here.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how they're gonna I wonder how they're gonna treat the anime, like, because it's done now. Like, you don't really have to wait. You don't have to wait too long. So, like, I wonder if they're gonna announce a season 5 like when season 4 is over.
Yeah.
Oh, I would.
Because they could do with season 2. Because remember when it ended, I think it was spring of 2016, and then like a few weeks after they announced in the fall season 3 was gonna happen right away. So like they could do something like that. But I'm just hoping that like production stuff in terms of like IG doing other series, there isn't anything else on their slate on their plate right now than Haikyu, because that means they can just focus solely on that.
Yeah,
which I think will probably be the smart move to do, because they're gonna make a lot of revenue off these episodes, like, and popularity and stuff is just gonna be like.
I mean, all the best stuff of the series is coming up in the anime, so exactly. It's gonna pop off.
It's like, it's not to say like everything wasn't GOAT before then; it was still GOAT, but this is like the peak. And that peak doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, bro. Like usually when you experience the peak, then you go down. But I don't think it ever goes like below the peak.
No, from the Inarizaki match, like it doesn't get lower than the Inarizaki match. Like
literally from the Inarizaki match to now is peak, like to the ending.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah. From the Inarizaki match, from the Inarizaki match all the way until the end, all the way until 402. That's like the peak of Haikyu.
Absolutely.
That's wild.
And the rest of it's all really good too, but like the stuff after is just it's insane.
It's like
that's just crazy.
Part 1 and then part 2 being nationals, and then time skips part 3. Like, yeah, bro, like flipping Goku, man. I can't believe, bro, 8 years this man put out greatness for Furudate, and like I hope he's able to do the same thing afterwards, whatever his next series is. But gotta appreciate that man for the greatness he gave us, and
what a great ending.
Hopefully he can match it or surpass it. Like if he could do that, There's no question this guy's one of the all-time greats. Like,
I wonder. So you know how they did a movie for like the Seijo match, and there was like an extended ending.
Yeah.
That's what I think that they're gonna do with like these matches, like some of these matches, like that are in the in the manga, like that they're gonna do it in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we'll definitely see more than an Oikawa serve and a quick attack from Kageyama and Hinata.
Yeah,
we'll definitely see more. We might even see a little bit of the Olympic match.
Mm-hmm. There's so many things, honestly. Like even like,
or not the Olympic match, but the world match between Hinata and
Kageyama,
Hinata and Kageyama.
Yeah,
yep.
That'd be crazy.
Because we at least with the Olympics, we still at least have to see like the starting rotation in the anime. I feel like for it to make sense in like a
at least for some
animated
stuff,
style.
possibly,
Right.
So we'll get Yaku is probably going to be the libero there, since Oikawa got the serve.
But yeah,
it's still so wild that Ushijima and Miya are on bench. Like
that, I mean,
that's insanely.
I mean, when I made my team,
nah. Ushijima and Hinata are starting. They're opposites.
Yeah,
I thought wasn't Ushijima on the bench with Miya? Oh no, but okay, because they had to put the libero. Okay, never mind.
Well, I mean,
Ushijima and Hinata. So I think from the way, I know that Hinata and Ushijima are like the main point getters for the Japan team. That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
because they said what was the announcer saying? He's saying that Ushijima and Hinata play opposites, and to have them both on the same court, like even though they play completely different, still like the other team doesn't want to face them.
I mean, because I remember when I did the creating like the national team and stuff, like who I can see being on the starting lineup and stuff. Initially, I had it to where it was Sakaza, Hoshiumi, and Hinata as the main three wing spikers. But if I had to redo that list now, man, I think the only person I would take out was Hoshiumi for Ushijima, because that is Japan's main cannon, man. Because like that guy is just something else. That's offensive power at its absolute like it's tough, bro. Like bro,
Ushijima has so many nicknames. They call him the Japan's cannon. They call him the rally ender.
Yeah.
Man.
Whenever they called him that, I was like, "Yo, what? The rally ender? That's another level, bro."
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, hold on, let me see. Yeah, Neil just posted on the Haikyu in like my Discord and stuff, like the server thing, right? So he has this thing over here, post some of the art that's Furudate put up for like Oikawa. And apparently because they're having like an art exhibition, so they're going to show like extra stuff from like the series, I guess, for like different moments, different viewpoints and stuff. So like just basically getting more art for the series. So it's just going to be cool just to see like little things. Maybe like later on we get like the year 2, year 3. Like it'll be cool to see stuff.
I bet you it'll be stuff that they put in the anime, bro.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that they're going to. There's no way that they're not. Like this could just end so well. This could just be amazing.
Yeah, because one of them actually it looks like it is from like year 2, 3, because the way Hinata's hair and stuff is, because like a kid that he's working with looks like one of his juniors, because his hair starts to get a little bit longer and stuff when it goes like year 2 and 3. So yeah, man. But
I wonder if like Kageyama had a hard time, or maybe if like Hinata had a hard time adjusting to like some of the newer some of like the freshmen and stuff.
Yeah,
like I just wonder what happened like throughout that like second year and
like how he handled his juniors and stuff. Yeah, because I mean, like if you, I don't think he probably definitely didn't go down the same route Oikawa did with him when they were at Daiichi Kitagawa and stuff. He probably was a little bit better and stuff, but I mean, because I think it was been stated that Yamaguchi was the captain. I think for the
he had number 1 on.
Yeah, so for obviously when it came to the juniors, like he was more of the guy I look at. I think he was the vice captain based on the number system and stuff. He was the vice captain. So, yeah,
Kageyama was.
I think so. Yeah, I think he was. I have to go back and double check on that, but I think he was based on the number system.
And I bet you they probably gave the team to Hinata and Kageyama early.
Yeah, because they're the main force. Like, the ace. I think the ace probably you can say was Hinata, because usually it's the wing spiker.
Easy.
But if you look at the star player, like this, the guy we're looking at, it's going to be Kageyama. For most teams, how they look at it, but. Either way, it's one of those where you look at the twins in Inarizaki, it's them. If you look at, for example, with Fukurodani, it's Bokuto. even though he's probably not. He was the captain actually, wasn't he? Or was Akashi?
Yeah,
he was a
So,
captain.
Yeah. So some teams, it depends on the fundamentals for each one and stuff. Some are gonna be like, your star guy is really Kageyama, but the ace. It's like almost with Asahi. Like you can say like he was the ace, but I don't know if he was the absolute best player on that team, right? Because you can argue it was Kageyama, and then so many things. But
I mean, Asahi was the ace, but Hinata was the one that got the most points.
absolutely, yeah. It's gonna be tough. But this whole the anime is gonna be back obviously, but just knowing that every week, every Sunday you can't even get to read a chapter anymore, it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be different.
Yeah, I'm hoping the light
lot of
novels get
different.
translated so we can get more content from that. So they're apparently covering stuff after year 1 until the Brazil trip, so that's gonna be dope. And I hope if we get those translated, just have more content from the series will be great. But yeah, man, we were running for 3 hours right now, but this has been an awesome stream. Just talking about the Haikyuu greatness, man. Hopefully, we can continue doing these more often and stuff. In terms of like the fantasy drafts, the possibly top 30 characters, that kind of stuff. I definitely want to do those more in the future, especially while the anime is running. It'd be nice to do something like that. So continue, talking about the greatness and all that. But I appreciate everyone that came through. Of course, Jake, Jay, SK, Matt, Neil came in through a little bit as well. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Always great to talk about the greatness with you guys. And of course, everybody who's here in the chat and stuff, who's with us for the 3 hours that we're talking about Haikyu. Again, that's not going to be the end of my coverage of the series and stuff. Again, discussion videos, all that kind of stuff, top 10s, all that. Over the course of time will be happening. So definitely stay tuned for that. Everyone's links will be down in the description below to Twitters and YouTubes. Definitely go check out Matt. He's going to have a discussion soon afterwards for Haikyu. So keep that after this. And until then, guys, we'll catch you in the next discussion, next stream, talking about Haruichi Furudate's masterpiece. Bye-bye.